without further ado, man, we need to kick this off because this is one of Charles' favorite players. And I know, Ship, you big into the NBA scenery. So right now, after the championship, Boston just won. Do you consider Jayson Tatum a top 10 NBA player in the league?
Oh, shit. I don't know. I think, to me, I feel like the championship was more for Jaylen Brown. He had a lot to do with the championship more than Jayson Tatum did. But to me, he wasn't. Wait, did you say top 5 or top 10?
Top 10.
You said top 10? Okay, yeah. He's top 10 regardless if he wins a championship or not, to me. Like, whether without the championship or with it, he was top 10. You looking like that, I guess you got a different opinion.
Yeah, that's making my skin crawl. I want to hear Charles first before I annihilate the both of you.
Man, that is not my favorite player whatsoever. Shit, but I feel like he is top 10, but we kind of hold him to a little bit of a standard. Like, he obviously ain't like number 1, number 5, or nothing like that, but he definitely on the back end. Because it's like, did he have a great series in terms of like scoring? No. Like, he had off nights and everything like that. He had cold shooting.
Charles, it's okay Charles, you can say the truth. Hell no. You know how you kind of elaborated a little bit, like you being too nice. Do you have a series, good series?
Can you name me 10 players better than Jayson Tatum right now, TK? And if so, sure, I want you to name them for me.
Oh, what? That's not a problem. Jokic is better than Tatum. Embiid's better than Tatum. Giannis better than Tatum. Luka's better than Tatum. LeBron's better than Tatum.
Go ahead. I'm gonna let you finish, but go ahead.
Oh, yeah, cool. LeBron better than Tatum. Shea better than Tatum. Jalen Brunson's better than Tatum. Anthony Edwards better than Tatum. And we gotta wrap it off to make it 10, because that's a simple 9 right there. But if I want to give me a 10th, I really don't gotta look too hard.
Seem like you is.
Shit, Kawhi better than Tatum.
Yeah, this nigga's out of his mind. Kawhi hasn't played a full healthy season. When was the last time Kawhi played a full season without getting injured? Can you tell me the last time? When was it? When was the last time he played the entire season without getting injured?
Probably a bubble, but
so 4 years ago. And then you said Luka's better than Tatum, but didn't he just beat him damn near sweep?
But what does that got to do with like who's better than who? Bron lost to the Warriors.
I'm better than you. If I just beat you at something, I'm better than you at it.
So Kevin Durant is better than LeBron James because he beat him more times in the finals. Is what
we're not talking about them.
No, but I'm saying with your logic, if you're saying that's your logic, then that's the case. Then everybody, like, if you win, that means you're better.
I was better than you this year. Yes, I won the championship. The Celtics are the best team in the NBA because they won the championship. Wrong or right?
I mean, the Celtics were the best team in the league, yes, but it's people. When Matthew Stafford won the championship for the Rams in 2021, did we say Matthew Stafford was the best quarterback in the league because he won the championship, or did we all know it was still Mahomes? But they had a good season. It was a good team win.
My point is, you can't say I'm not the best if I beat you if I win that's like saying I'm in a championship I win a championship at a tournament and I'm not the best. We're not the best team. Like, we are the best team because we won it. How can you say that? Or like I am the best because I won it. Like, okay, that's cool. If you beat me the next time, you won it this time. You was the best this year.
That's like in our terms. When we went to Dallas and we played QDOT, my junior year, your sophomore year, and we beat him. Anybody on our team, we couldn't say we were better than him because we knew none of us on that team were better than him. The better player lost the game. We just so happened to be the better team.
So you're talking about?
Am I right or wrong?
But then I feel like if you don't have Jayson Tatum top 10, regardless, he can't do anything to crack your top 10, regardless on any type of. That's just anybody.
Yes, he can.
No, he can't. He just won a championship. That's not good enough to make him top 10.
I mean, performance is a key factor into when you determine these players. It's not just off of if you win a championship. It's off. Are you getting held to that superstar standard as every other player in the league? Because I promise you, if LeBron James had another player on his team that would have pretty much outperformed him throughout that final series, media would be killing him. So like the fact is like with Tatum, our expectations for him, we lower them and like kind of baby him in a way, not realizing what he has around him with pretty much, we got to be honest, Jaylen Brown got snubbed this year at the All-NBA team. So he has another All-NBA performer in Jaylen Brown, which he proved in the playoffs by winning finals, Eastern Conference Finals MVP. He won the Finals MVP, and he was the best player throughout the finals, arguably between him and Drew Holiday throughout the whole finals. So I'm sitting here saying, like, I've never seen a best player. First off, if Luka didn't play up to MVP Luka standards, and they got killed. Jayson Tatum didn't even play up to regular season Jayson Tatum standards, and they still 4-1 easy to math.
So I got a question. So if you say, do you think you said Jaylen Brown was the best? He was the best player in the series, right?
Yeah.
You saying
I'm talking about on that team. That team,
not on the Celtics. Okay, on the Celtics. But I'm saying, Jason, who was getting double teamed the entire series? Jayson Tatum was. He was getting double teamed and it was helping. So I've never seen the best player not get double teamed. That's all I'm saying. And then he averaged 22, 7, and 7 for that in the NBA in that series.
That's
I don't know.
If you ask me, I don't know.
Averaging 22, getting double teamed and helping is crazy. Averaging 22.
Right. Calm down. Now let's just hit. He was not getting Luka treatment. Like at the end of the day, Tatum was getting guarded up straight. If you're a good player in the NBA, it's always gonna be help. Help's coming somewhere. No one-on-one player in the league can just isolate you and do what it do. Now, am I saying Tatum is a bad player? No, not at all. Every good player is gonna get double teamed, whether you like it or not. And it's not like it weren't no stuff like as soon as Tatum touching the ball, 2 coming at him immediately. They
sitting there help. We're gonna guard you straight up, but we got 2 other people on the side that's gonna help. We got Drew Holiday as a roamer sitting on the back. He gonna roam everywhere, so anywhere you try to go, he's gonna be there. I mean, not Drew Holiday.
Truthfully,
they got help.
Truthfully, if I'm being honest, it weren't too much double teaming going on, in my opinion. I just think Tatum doesn't take the most smartest shots when he's playing the game. He's taking a lot of sidestep jump shots, a lot of mid-range jump shots. Yeah, but that's what equates to his ineffective play, which gives him the criticism as we give him. Why you go to the playoffs and you finish with 39% in the finals, with people arguing for him to be finals MVP, people arguing for him to be top 10 in the league. But if any other players that I named that I think are better than Tatum right here and now had a series like they did with their respective teams, would they be be hosting the trophy at the end, winning the finals, and getting all the accolades? Any other of them players, if Jokic played Tatum style basketball, played like Tatum in the finals with his team, could the Nuggets win that series?
Could they? I mean, go ahead.
Well, let me phrase the question so it's easier for everybody to understand. Charles, I want your answer too. So, if any one of those top 10 players that I listed I said Luka, I said Embiid, I said Bron, I said Jokic, I said Ant, I said Brunson.
And you said Kawhi. Let's not come on now. We got to address that, but we're gonna get to that in a second.
Okay, now Kawhi,
that's what you said.
I said it, but
if we've been real though, Kawhi most definitely can be if he wasn't, if the injuries didn't like limit him, he's for sure.
But they have though. We can't.
I ain't gonna lie. He lasted longer this season. In the sense, but
he still couldn't finish it though. So that I'm not. So Tatum is better than Kawhi. You see, I said it. Curry. Okay, that was the name. That's the name I missed. It was Curry. Now that's 10 for sure. I missed out on him. That's 10. Curry, Bron, Luka, Embiid, Giannis, Jokic, Ant-Man, Shea, Jalen Brunson, that's 9. I'm not missing one. And Luka, 10. Easy. But get back to the original question. Out of those players that I just listed right now, if they played this level of series that Tatum just played in the finals with their respective teams, do you think they could win the championship?
You want to go first, verse?
Yeah. I mean, obviously no, but that's not really a detriment to Tatum though. Like that's a kudos to the construction of the team. Like you can't hold Tatum against that. Like,
But
okay, they got a great team. They got a great supporting cast, so he can have a couple of off nights. That's understandable because the Celtics have the best roster in the Eastern Conference, debatably in the NBA, if you compare them to the Nuggets. Obviously, you take Shea away from his A game, the Thunder ain't the Thunder. And ain't Ant-Man, then the T-Wolves is trash. Like, you do that for a lot of teams. Understandable. But, like, you can make that same argument for Tatum having a great supporting cast. Like, if you take away KD from the Warriors back in their dynastic days, you do that for them. They still got Curry, Klay Thompson, Draymond, all them role players, and they still thriving. You can't really do that for a lot of teams, which is why the Celtics are in such a unique position.
Yeah, I agree, and that's where I was going with it too. I mean, that just shows you how good the Celtics really are. The fact that Tatum can play mediocre and they still go win the championship and 4-1 the Mavericks. That's
Shit,
just
he got an all-star. He got an all-star team, so it's like, yes, well, shit, he got an all-star team, so it's like, but they still shouldn't allow him to play mediocre. I'm not gonna lie, like, you're Jayson Tatum, man. Let's talk to you being top 10, top whatever in the league. You still got to play like up the par. Like, there's no reason. I ain't gonna say that there's no reason because Jaylen Brown better than Jayson Tatum. There's been debates about this. I feel like not Jayson Tatum. I feel like Jaylen Brown better. That's just my opinion. He took over. Shit, he earned that Finals MVP, bro. Like, that nigga played out of his mind. Like, if I'm being honest.
That's the thing that pisses me off, though. Like, how in the world can we sit here today and say that the supporting cast is good around him? So so we're essentially letting him off the hook for being mediocre, but we're gonna still consider him top 10. Like, at the end of the day, it's like, is Tatum a top 15 player in the NBA? Yes. Like, like saying that he's not top 10 is not a crime. He made first team All NBA, averaging 27 points a night on somewhat efficient shooting. We know Tatum standards when he's playing at his highs. We know the level, like what we're expected to see on a night-to-night basis when we watching Tatum play basketball. So I'm saying, why is it a crime for us saying, hey, Tatum, we just want what you can act like. If you can come out here and you can play regular season Tatum like basketball, you're not going to be receiving the level of criticism that you do from NBA fans. And Tatum, night to night basis in the playoffs, had more stinkers than he did great games, and that's just facts. He has a great team, obviously. Like, he has pretty much a super team. I know a lot of people don't want to say they're a super team, but that's a super team. But
yeah, more or less. But yeah, I can see how you say that.
Yeah, but it's at the end of the day, I'm like, we can't sit here and call Tatum a superstar, top 10, give him all the kudos, but don't give him the same criticism and the same scrutiny as these other players on this list would get if they did perform up to those levels. Because LeBron James been getting crucified for years.
But we can't compare LeBron James' criticism to anybody else's because it's not like anybody else's that I've ever seen. He is the most, and you know that. I think everybody here knows that it's different for LeBron, and you. That goes without saying, honestly.
Oh, well, we can go even further. Like, when Curry didn't play good in the finals, they crucified him. Curry can't finish. Curry can't this. Curry can't that. And the biggest thing that could have ever happened to Steph Curry's career is when he beat Boston and got his 4th ring, because that shut all the haters up. He did it by himself. He played up to Steph Curry levels and then raised it a level. And then that's how he earned everybody respect, because at that point, it was like, okay, you did win your ship before KD got there, before he got the 2 extra with KD, but nothing was more impressive than Curry single-handedly winning that championship against the Boston Celtics. That boosted he's pretty much submitted as the second best point guard of all time, if not first. You can have a honest debate about that. But
so it sounds like you were making it to where you're penalizing Jayson Tatum for having a good team and doing what he needs to do to win. But if he was by himself and he scored 30 or he was averaging 30 or 40, you would give him more props, like if he was to win. Or let's just say he lost, you'd be like, oh, he's just by himself, but he's getting criticized for having a good team. I don't understand that. Like, every series is different. The finals is different. It's all about matchups. I'm not going to average 30, but I can average 30 in the next one. You know what I'm saying? So it's not like I'm not playing bad. It's just not my series. Jaylen Brown is getting more single coverage than Jayson Tatum anyway, because Jayson Tatum is looked at as the best player in league wide. That's just how it is.
But you know why that is? Because of the playoffs. It's not because of regular season. If you watch a regular season full 82 game, nobody's sitting here saying that Brown is better than Tatum. Am I right or am I wrong?
Yeah, no, nobody. I don't think anybody says that.
Saying that.
So who has, when we watch them play, we see obviously the only thing, but me personally, that I see that makes Tatum and Brown just, obviously Brown's a better player, is strictly off of Jaylen Brown's confidence and strictly off of Jaylen Brown's willingness to attack the basket relentlessly and not be so much in his head and just like, okay, like I see I got one-on-one coverage. I'm gonna still go attack to get to my spot, or I'm going with my move. I'm not in my head and thinking about it. Tatum's biggest critique is instead of him playing somewhat like, you know, Cheers, you know how it is. Like certain people be in their head and they don't really know what they're doing, and that kind of limits them because it's like you're so undetermined on what you want to do. We've seen multiple times Tatum catching the ball is like, do I want to drive? No, I'm gonna shoot a side step back three, and it's like that's ineffective. That's not your game.
But is it consistent though with Jayson Tatum's play in the playoffs? Is it consistent? Because I mean, in 2023 he averaged 27.2 and 10 rebounds and 5 assists. This year it was 22. It was 5. Is that consistent though? Oh my God, that should be a lot.
You said what? Can you repeat that? I can't hear you.
Consistent with how he's been in the playoffs. I mean, what are we really expecting? He's been averaging 27. He averaged 27 last year in the playoffs, and then this year was 22, I believe.
But that's the thing, though. That 22, you're gonna get criticized for that 22.
He lost. He was averaging more. He averaged less, and he won. So what do we?
But it's all about situations too. I mean, Tatum got hurt in the conference finals last year. He was on a sprain. He was on a sprained ankle. We understood. I mean, but even till that point, they was down 0-3 to the Miami Heat team. They just so happened to run off 3 straight before they end up losing in that game 7. So it's just more the fact that, like, at the end of the day, why can't we hold superstar players to superstar standard? And that's my biggest thing. Like, I am not a Jayson Tatum hater by any means necessary. Like, I think Tatum is a great player. I think Tatum, if he can come back to the playoffs and perform up to this level, then of course I would say Tatum is a top 10 player. But as far as what I'm seeing on the court and the expectation that we put on these other players that don't have these great teams, I can't elevate you to that level just because you win a championship playing like a role player, but you're getting superstar kudos and
is he a superstar in your mind? Is he a superstar or is he just a star? Because for a while I feel like
it's like being disrespectful if I don't say he's a superstar. So it's like I would say yes, but I would say he on a lower tier of those superstars just because he's so inconsistent. That's my biggest thing. Like if Jalen Brunson doesn't perform up to his level, do we even think the New York Knicks even make the playoffs? Like
no, I mean look at the Knicks though. We're not looking at the Knicks in a way of, you know.
No, but I'm saying as the superstar player, as the best player on your team, if you don't play up to those levels or you don't raise your level of play, your team, their teams will not go anywhere. And that's what I'm saying. Tatum level decreases from the regular season, or forget the regular season, for what we expect Tatum to play like. And he does other things that role players are supposed to be doing. But we still give him the kudos because he found a way to win with a great team instead of saying, hey, like, you're not playing up to that level. You're not playing like a number one option. You're not playing like somebody that's first team All-NBA. You're not playing up to these level of standards. So therefore, we have to give you this level of criticism until you can prove otherwise. That's what I'm saying. It's just not crazy. It's not crazy in the imagination to sit here and say, Tatum, you're not playing your best level of basketball. You're not performing up to number one level standards. You're not even performing like a first team All-NBA guy. You're not a top 10 NBA player, but you're not a bad player. You might be 11-12. You might be on the out, like right there on the outside. But I promise you, Donovan Mitchell gets injured, they had no chance. I guarantee you, if Tatum gets injured, I promise you, Boston will still be a 50 plus win team. They'll still be top 3 in the East. They still be title contenders. Not to the same level with Tatum, but I don't think it's too much of a drop off, and that just goes to the level of the team. So that's why I'm saying, like, we can sit here and like say, okay, Tatum does all these other things well. Like, he was rebounding great, defending great, passing great, making good decisions, but was he playing up to that same level like Shea? Like, Shea answered a lot of questions for me in the playoffs. He went to the playoffs, even though they lost to Dallas. Shea played his ass off.
Why are you giving them credit for losing though? But you're not giving him credit for winning. You're taking away credit for, but okay, so I go somewhere, but I lose. But I'm just like, it's just me, and I get them somewhere, but I'm averaging 30 and I lose. But you're gonna give me credit just for getting there. But I win and I average less, but then I get penalized for it. How does that even? That don't work. I don't understand that. I can get that's like I don't.
What I was gonna say is if we're doing that, then we're not gonna consider you a superstar. Let's not even put you in that realm of player. You can't consider somebody a superstar if you're not gonna hold him to the critique if you don't perform to superstar. If you don't play like a superstar, we can't call you a superstar. But if we're going off of those standards, if you have a great team and you play subpar, we can't call you a superstar. That's just superstar is supposed to elevate your team. What is Tatum doing that's elevating that team besides shooting 39%, which stinks? Charles, you can answer that question because I want to know what was Tatum doing that was elevating that basketball team that you could sit here and say he's a top 5 guy. He deserves to be first team All NBA. I want to hear it.
You talking about him specifically with the finals, like just his performance alone?
I mean, but you know, I've been in question of Tatum throughout these whole playoffs about him even being in the top 5 discussion. But now for sure top 10. So we can go off the whole playoffs in general. But if you want to do finals first, go ahead.
As far as the finals, I mean, how much stock do you put in leading your team in points, rebounds, and assists, doing something that's only been done by a handful of guys? I mean, it's only been done for a couple of times by LeBron James. He did it a few times with the Cavs and the Heat. It's been done by Magic Johnson once, and it's been done by Oscar Robertson once. So he's one of 4 guys that's able to do that for that team. That's kind of crazy that he was unable to win Finals MVP while leading those statistical categories. But at the same time, you make it seem like because his scoring averages was not the best and he wasn't the most efficient that we expect him to become, it's like he had a bad series. Was it a bad series by his standards in terms of what we hold Jayson Tatum to be? Probably. But in terms of having a bad series overall for any basketball player in the finals, obviously not. He led his team in being a great playmaker, being a great rebounder, being a great defender at times as far as help side, and in terms of being an on-ball defender in terms of trying to assist with defending Luka, assist with defending Kyrie. He wasn't a primary defender for those matchups, but he wasn't at any time a bad defender, a bad matchup against those guys. And he definitely held his own and basically did what he could in order to help that team win that championship, to where it was a legitimate debate between him and Jaylen Brown. It was a toss-up to the voters for a reason. And then for Jaylen Brown to have won that Finals MVP, which he may have deserved in a lot of people's eyes, including mine, you can't sit up here and act like it wasn't a coin flip. So he definitely held his own to a certain extent.
And I don't think anybody was mad that Jaylen Brown got it. I mean, it could have went either way, in my opinion, because Jaylen Brown was hooping, but Jayson Tatum wasn't far behind him either. He was a factor in the finals, regardless of how he was. Whether you think his scoring took a dip or not, he had something to do with the fact that they won. They 4-1 them.
So let me ask everybody here this question. So, do we believe that the Celtics won that championship because of the level? Because the level of player, they're 2 best players. Or do you think they won the championship because of the collective?
The collective in my eyes.
The collective.
I say collective because I mean, shit, they were shutting down Dallas. Like,
right, hold on. Let me hear from Shift too. I want to hear his Shift.
Wait, what was you said? Do we think that that Boston won because of because of Jayson Tatum and Jaylen Brown, or as the team or a collective unit?
Mm-hmm.
The collective. I told you the team when we first started the discussion. I said Boston had the best team. They were the most well-constructed team. They were the most. I mean, I felt like that when they made the trades to get Drew Holiday and Porzingis at that time.
Okay, good. So now I want all of us to just sit back and let me just rename some of these teams. And let's see if they were able to win off of just straight collective or they won off of straight their best player coming out there and performing. So let's go to last year. So does the Nuggets win? Did they win because of the collective or did they win because their big guns came to play?
I mean, to me, I think it was collective, but in the last 5 minutes of the game, it's Jamal Murray and Jokic. They had a great team, bro. And to sit here and act like it was just Jokic or just Murray we're not gonna do that.
No, we talking about who's pushing, who's elevating that team. Because at the end of the day, I can sit here and say the last final, Drew Holiday was the best player, game 1 through 3. I can sit here and say Derek White has had more impactful moments in the game than Jayson Tatum. We can't sit here and say any one of those championship teams, which obviously I know my boy Shits, he's a Bucks fan. We can go back to that series. Was it a team? Was it a collective or was it Giannis? And let's be honest, because he dropped a 50 piece. So let's not sit here and
you're talking about the Suns series, right?
Yeah,
and it was Giannis. Took the game over, yes, for sure. He had to.
And then let's go back to the other one. When LeBron and AD won in the bubble. Was that a team or was that more of the 1-2 big guns? Because I remember Bron going out there giving us 30-point trip dubs and AD doing 80 level things at his peak. So we can't sit here and say it was a whole team collective because they went to a whole game 6 in that 2020 final because Danny Green could have hit a wide open 3. So let's not sit here and say that the whole team came to play.
But right? You're picking one moment. I mean, what are we really expecting? We're not expecting that much from role players, but they do have to show up. Because if my role players show up and your role players don't show up, I'm gonna win the game, regardless of the big guns that I have. It comes down to the role players when it's too big. When it's a 2-on-2, like if I got Jayson Tatum, Jaylen Brown, you got Kyrie Irving and Luka. For my big, but that's gonna cancel each other out if both of them come to play. So now it's on the role players to make our role players got to be better than yours for us to win the game. So
hold up. Before you finish it. So that's a great point you just made. So do we think Jayson Tatum came to play at his level? At his level of play, did Tatum come to play? Like how we normally would expect Jayson Tatum to come play in that series.
He had a bad series. I mean, I think that.
Okay, no. Wait, pause it right there. So now we can sit here and say that okay, Kyrie didn't play a good series. Okay, we can say that, right?
Yeah, I mean he was getting. I mean, to me in those games he was getting good looks. He was just missing. But go ahead.
Yeah, for sure. So now this is the point I'm making. I can sit here and say that Jaylen Brown and Drew Holiday was the 2 best players for the Celtics, and nobody can sit here and call me crazy. You see, like we're not even going off stats at this point. We're going off of what we done seen with our eyes. And I know all 4 of us that's sitting here on this screen, we're intelligent enough to realize impactful players, which means guys that numbers and his impact doesn't show up on the scoreboard or on the stat sheet, but us knowing high-level basketball, we know, okay, how impactful you are to your squad. So now, knowing all of that, how many of those guys did Boston have and versus how many of those guys Dallas had? We can go down the list. Al Horford, Derek White, Drew Holiday, freaking Sam Hauser was going in there playing somewhat solid defense and give you about 10. So like I'm sitting here, I'm like, man, like we can go to Dallas and we can be like, who?
A lot of stuff, a lot of I feel like you're overlooking the fact that Boston has been on the losing side of a lot of like in the finals and playoffs period, and they have experience. Dallas has never been there. Luka has never been to the finals, and a lot of those guys, only the one that was most experienced was Kyrie Irving, and Kyrie didn't really play that well. So we can't really expect that much from those guys who haven't been there. Most of the Boston Celtics have been there, and they've already experienced it. Jayson Tatum and Jaylen Brown for sure. Drew Holiday is an NBA champion. Derek White, Al Horford, all those guys have been there before. So it's not really fair for us to say, well, what are these guys doing? What is PJ Washington doing? What is Derek Lively? What is Gafford? They ain't never been there. They should have played they should have played better. No, like that's just there's no excuse for that. But I'm just saying experience does play a factor in that in the finals. It just does.
My thing with that is like, So Tatum has had, obviously, like he just said, finals experience. So why the hell did he play like that in the finals? If he had experience, and obviously experience makes you better and more prepared for these moments. So Tatum averaging his 22, 7, and 7 on 39% shooting, which is god awful to superstar level standards. Why didn't his play rise up? Because he's been there before, like you just said. He's been there before. He has the experience. He's ready. He was ready for that moment, but he just didn't show up. And his team still, for the most part, that was a gentleman's sweep. They 4-1 him. With him playing low-level basketball compared to superstar standards. We're not just saying like, okay, he did what he was supposed to do on this team. We talk about the superstar level standards. If Jayson Tatum played like this in the regular season, was he making first team all the NBA? Charles, answer that one. If Jayson Tatum played like he did in the finals in the regular season, is he making first team all NBA? Simple yes or simple no?
No, but I have one question. What is that superstar level standard that you are looking for? Like in terms of what is that threshold? What do you consider that bottom line?
You elevate your game, or you elevate you bro. First off, you don't drop off on your regular season statistics. That's for starters. But you're elevating your level of play in the playoffs when your team needs you the most. And I don't believe, and we can sit here and say Luka didn't play his best series. But you know what happens when Luka doesn't play his best series? They go home. You know what happened when Tatum doesn't play his best series? He still has a chance to win a championship with this open team.
Because they did win. They won the championship, so how can we criticize them if we won?
Because Tatum didn't play to that level. And if he's a superstar like he truthfully is, and his impact is that great on his team of winning, they should have lost that series if Tatum was that. If his impact was that great to that team, they should have lost that series because he played god awful.
But you're equating his impact to just strictly scoring efficiency. I mean, like
Bro, Luka scored 20 points. He's on the bench by the fourth quarter because they down 40 and they getting ready for the next game. If he scores 20 points, if Tatum scored, I don't even think Tatum cracked 20 points, averaging 20 points a game throughout 3 games in this final. So that's why I'm sitting here and saying, like, how the hell how can we praise somebody for not producing like a superstar level player if that's all we're asking? All we ask is if you can perform up to your regular season standards, we're not going to give you this level of criticism. And it's not just strictly off of points. Obviously, Tatum, he was a solid defender. He got his rebound. He got his assist. But did Tatum do that all year long? Was Tatum just, oh, my God, he just great everywhere. He's an assist man. He's a rebounding machine. And, like, no. We expecting Tatum to go out there and get busy. If he can give me 6 or 7 rebounds, that's fine. But are we expecting Jayson Tatum to give us 27 plus a night? Yes. And if he doesn't give us that, is that disappointing? That decreases our chances of winning? Hey, I can answer that question.
I feel like yeah, it can if you don't bring anything else to the table. Like if you don't score a high level amount of points, then you have to balance it out with at least elevating or evolving in some other areas.
Okay. So my thing is how can Tatum play up to these? He's not performing up to his standards, but we still give him superstar kudos for going out there playing like a role player. Not a superstar, not a star. He played role player level basketball, and we're giving him superstar kudos. That's my only issue with this. Like Jalen Brunson didn't have a good.
What role player averages 22, 7, and 7?
Exactly.
Now we're going opposite, but so the statistics was a part of the argument because obviously we know what he averages. But now
you said he was playing like a role player, so I asked you what role player is coming out averaging 22, 7, and 7. I can't think of one right now. Did at least recently?
Well, I have no idea what role players averaging 22, 7.
None of them. So you can't say he was playing like a role player then.
But is that a superstar? That a number one level option? Is that Jayson Tatum from regular season or even throughout these first 3 series in the in the Eastern Conference before making it to the finals?
I mean, but point being, the Celtics don't look the same with Jayson Tatum off the floor, and that's just a fact. And you know that, and I know you and I both know that if we take Jayson Tatum off that court, that they look different. Put Jayson Tatum back on the court, they look better to me. That's just how I feel about it. Like they're better with him than without him. So that tells you something about the way that he's playing, regardless if his scoring has taken a hit or not. I mean, has declined or not. But they're a better team than Jayson Tatum.
But how can we sit here today in the NBA, as everybody here that's sitting here today knows that this is a very talented league. There's a lot of good players in this league that perform better in these playoffs or better throughout the playoffs than Jayson Tatum has.
And they lose.
How can we sit there and say that? But is that because of their individual play for the most part? Or is that because their team isn't built like Tatum's team?
You lost though. No, that is not the case. That's not the case at all. Because we can't sit here and say if you lost, that means you better. That means you had a better team, but that don't mean you a better player. Like when people say, so by your metrics, you're saying that you're okay with if my team is not that good and I averaged 37 in the playoffs and I was just averaging, let's just say 25, and I averaged 30 in the playoffs and I lose, versus somebody who goes to the finals and wins is averaging 22, who was averaging 30 in the regular season. That player that lost is better than the player that won the finals.
No,
by your metrics, that's what you're saying.
But my whole metric is this: if we're sitting here and we're watching you play basketball and we're saying you're not bringing it, like your impact to this game, is so detrimental where you might actually lose because you didn't come to play, then obviously that's how I kind of just critique players. Once you get to the playoffs and I see you play in that high level environment and you come to show up and play, forget the statistics. We watch the games. So we can sit here and say, like, okay, like obviously Tatum 22 points. Okay, I'm sitting here, I was saying, okay, that's bad. That's one criticism to why I say like why Tatum isn't that. But also it's what I'm watching out there. It's like, okay, if you're giving me 22 a night, what else are you out here literally like trying to find your shots? Like you're out here trying to get shots, or are you sitting out here like, okay, I'm gonna do other things well? No, Tatum was still out there chunking them shots up. He averaged the most shots on his team, so he was trying to score. So he was giving Dallas multiple opportunities in that game to come back and win those games. It just so happened, if we remember in Game 3. That game was nip and tuck, Charles. You can recall this. It was the nip and tuck game in Dallas. Dallas took the lead. Celtics came back. Whoop-de-whoop. Tatum came down, missed a couple shots. What happened? Jaylen Brown took the ball. He said, I got this. And took that moment and them final 2 minutes of that Game 3 game and sealed the deal. And that's pretty much when I said, okay, like at first it was like a hand toss, like I didn't know who was better. But now it's like, okay, like he seized the moment. Despite Tatum could have had more points to him. Tatum could have looked better. But at the end of the day, when the moments come where you got to show up and show that you're a superstar, I feel like Tatum hasn't rose and shown to the occasion enough. And it's not just strictly on points. It says that was your question. No, it's not strictly on points. It's about if you're going out there and you're impacting the game of basketball at a high enough level. At a high enough level where it's like, okay, like you're not a detriment to your team's success. I feel like Tatum, his shot chunking was a detriment to his team. It wasn't necessarily a detriment to his team's success, but it wasn't. How can I say it? Because he had so many.
It wasn't beneficial, basically.
Huh?
It wasn't beneficial for the team, basically.
I mean, not necessarily beneficial. I'm trying to think of how I translate it.
It didn't help the team win, is what you're trying to say.
Tatum played as bad as he did, and the Celtics were still overwhelming favorites. Let me say it like that. Despite the level of Tatum play, it doesn't affect the Celtics' outcome of winning or losing those games. Because they were
overwhelming. They were the overwhelming favorites throughout the playoffs, though. That don't change despite how. I mean, they were before they even They were the favorite to win it all anyway. Whenever Denver
lost season 2,
huh?
That was preseason too.
That's what I'm saying.
Started after
they had always been the favorites, and then teams start getting hurt, like Milwaukee, like Miami. Even though I don't think Miami stood a chance, but like Miami, like New York, like Indiana, they were still the favorite.
I don't know, bro. I just think it's just disappointing that we give him this level of like praise. Just that, like forget the point, like forget the points, forget the stats. Like when we sit out there and we was talking about Shea, Charles, you know how big of a critic I was about Shea. He came out there and he played. He came out there, and despite them winning or losing, because his other guys didn't want to show up, he came out there and his level of play did not drop. He played down there every second of those games, and he was giving you. He gave you what he gave you in the regular season and increased it. He increased his level of play to another level where it's like, okay, like Shea, you prove like you're not just a free throw merchant. Like you prove like you get in the playoffs and you can play when the game slows down, when the defenses are keying in on you, on trying to slow you down, and you still getting your 30 plus, and it's effective. It's like, okay, like you're one of them ones. You're one of them guys. When Anthony Edwards went to the playoffs, he didn't have every game he had. It wasn't a great game, but he was so key to his team success. If he had a bad game, which necessarily I think he did have a bad game in game 7. Charles, am I lying? Didn't he have a bad game in game 7?
For his standards, yeah, but he still was probably the most impactful on his team.
Thank you.
That just speaks to team construction, which is what we were saying earlier, is the fact that it sounds like you're penalizing Tatum for the fact that his team is better. I think if you take most of those people off of Tatum's team, of course he's going to – to me, I think he's going to elevate his play because he has to. It's different when you have to elevate your play versus having that comfort, like you're comfortable, like, okay, if I don't got to go and I got Jaylen Brown, I got people I can kick the ball to and stuff like that versus an Anthony Edwards, like, shit, I got to go average 30 because that's the only way we're going to win. Like, I'm the man on this team. Like, I have to do that. It's nothing. There's no other way that's gonna happen. It's the same thing. But if I got a decent team. Like, if I don't got it going, I got another guy I can give it to. He gonna go give me 30. I got another guy give me 20, and you know what I'm saying. He gonna lock in defensively. That's just how the team. That just speaks to the team construction. I don't think we can just crucify Jayson Tatum for having that type of team. That don't have nothing to do with me. Now, if you take the team, I mean, to me, I think if you put Jayson Tatum where, let's just say, like a Shea is, I feel like he does elevate his play up to, like, what you were saying, his standards or whatever. But if I got people on my team, then I don't necessarily have to go out and get 40, 50 points. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't – and we're blowing people out. It's not like we're barely getting by. We're blowing them out. So I don't need to do all of that. Like, I could – you know what I'm saying? I could get my 20. We beat y'all. We go to the next game.
So basically what I'm hearing is that we can give people passes for not playing up to their level only because their team is great enough where it's like, okay, like the team doesn't need me to do this. So therefore I don't have to perform to regular season standards. I can do what I do and we can win because my team is great. And
but that's just what makes. But you gotta think about it. That's what makes Bron so good because he's asked to do everything. He's asked to rebound, score, pass, get everybody in the right spots, guard, like everything. So it's like, of course, you know what I'm saying. If my team, that's what makes him so great because he has to do everything. That's been like that his whole career. Most people don't have that. Most people have guys. All right, we need T-Cal. I need you to just rebound. Okay, I need. Mark, I need you to make sure you lock in on defense. I need you to do this. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like it's always been delegated to just different players on different teams. That's what makes Bron so good. So I think what Tatum is experiencing is I got him. Okay, JB, you make these shots. You go get it. I'm gonna rebound. All right, Derek White, you hit your corner threes. You lock in on defense. Drew, you lock in on defense. Make certain passes, right reads and stuff like that. I'm gonna do whatever. But I think that's just the way the game goes. Sometimes it just depends on the team.
But but my thing is like, if we sit here and you just said the perfect example, LeBron James. Obviously, we can't compare nobody to LeBron James, which I'm not doing that. But what so means like not at all. But if I'm sitting here today and I'm saying, and if we sat up here and LeBron, let me not say LeBron. Let me say if Steph Curry would have performed just a regular season Steph Curry standard, Charles, and I want to hear Charles first. if he performed up to Steph Curry regular season standards in that Boston Finals in 2022, was they winning that? Yes or no? Just regular season Curry standards, regular season, and remind yourself that the players are still playing how they were playing. So like Draymond Green was unplayable, and some of those series, so we still accounted for all the players that had bad series.
Okay, we accounted for all the players that had bad series, and I'm assuming that applies to the Celtics as well. Because if it applies to the Celtics as well, I think so. I think they take that series still, just because of how poor the Celtics looked. But I mean,
who else? Who else would have won that series if Curry weren't? Let me remind you what Curry did. 34. He had 34, 29, 31, 43, 34, 7, and 7 to close out game. Mind you, Andrew Wiggins was playing out of his mind. I'm not going to sit here and just discount Andrew Wiggins. He was a baller. He was clamping JT and JB. He did that. Okay. But if Curry didn't put up these gaudy-like numbers, 34, 7, and 7 on 6-11 shooting from 3, 12 or 21 shooting from the field. If he didn't elevate his level of play, were they winning that series? Me personally, I mean, you could say, yeah, they are, but I can't sit here and say that if Steph Curry didn't play out of his mind, they was winning that series. I can't. If you sit here, you could say that's they were still gonna win the series despite Curry playing subpar. Okay, I'm not gonna argue with it, but that's just my opinion. I can't get down with that one.
Yeah. No. But we moving on to the NFL.
Yeah, we'd have been arguing for an hour on this.
49. Y'all playing 48 minutes. All right. So yeah, y'all be getting
that's what happened, bro. That's what happened when it's good discussion.
All right, so next question, man. This is an NFL topic we're moving on to. So my question to y'all is, who's under the most pressure this upcoming season for the NFL? Do you mean like teams? Like you asking teams, or you saying players? Like let's do teams.
Me, I'll probably say the most pressure coming up in the league right now.
We doing teams, right?
I was doing players, but we can do both. Or we can do we can do both because it could be an individual player too. But
okay, that's cool. I got the player is on the same team that I felt was under the most pressure. But go ahead.
So the team the player who I think is under the most pressure is Dak Prescott. I think if Dak Prescott doesn't perform up to, okay, let me take that back. Let me take that back because I don't think Dak is under the most pressure. I think if Dak even if Dak doesn't perform up to the level that he did last year, I think he'll still get a fat, juicy contract from whatever team, if it's not Dallas. So let me take that back. I think the player who's probably underneath. Let me go on the team. Let me go team because I'm gonna start up with my teams first. The team that's under the most of them it gotta be by far probably the Bengals. I think the Bengals bringing back Tee Higgins on that franchise tag. I mean, he signed it, but I mean that's gonna be an unhappy camper walking around your stadium for the next. How long is the NFL season? About 6 months. Yeah, so I mean, that's for starters. Then you got Jamar Chase that hasn't been paid, and the ticket only gonna get bigger and bigger if you don't pay him. So if I'm the Bengals, I'd rather get that out the way now. Try to at least get him up to at least 35. Cause he's better than Jamar in my opinion. So if I was them, I would try to hurry up and get that contract situation out the way before it get even heftier in the future. You got Trey Henderson requesting a trade because y'all don't want to reconstruct his deal and pay him again, and he's threatened to retire if y'all don't pay him or seek a trade that's beneficial for him. So I think the Bengals are under the most scrutiny because, like, I think this is kind of. I don't think necessarily that last year with a championship window, but I do think things could be drastically different if they don't. I mean, it's going to be drastically different anyway because Tee Higgins isn't going to get paid. As long as you're paying Jamar Chase top dollar, you can't pay Tee Higgins. Even if you want to give him 23, 24.
Yeah,
you can't pay both.
Go ahead. Yeah, I just think, I mean, something about the Bengals is missing to me. I'm not really sure what it is. I mean, I think they did. They got a new line and they paid some people, draft picks and everything like that. But something about the Bengals is just, I'm not sold on them as a playoff team at all. I mean, it's just something that's missing. I'm not really sure what it is. Maybe y'all can help me out. But, yeah, I'm just not really sold on them as a real playoff team.
I think it's the defense, personally, because they lost a lot of pieces, like a lot of pieces.
Yeah.
The secondary ain't the same, and it's not like it was the greatest thing in the world, but especially if they were to sit up here and lose Hendrickson in the future,
yeah,
you got a lot of pressure on Joe Shiesty's shoulders. And then you might mess around and lose Tee Higgins because you know how they get when you put him on that franchise tag. It's like, oh, you ain't really committed to me for real. Let me go ahead and test my value elsewhere in the market. So,
yeah. But go ahead.
It might get rough. It might get rough for Cincinnati.
And my player that I think is under the most pressure is Deshaun Watson. I think Deshaun Watson coming into this year, I mean, he was the only NFL player to get a super max fully guaranteed, and we seen him more on the sidelines in Browns gear than him actually on the field taking snap. I mean, Deshaun Watson was a top 2 level quarterback by the time he left Houston and went to Cleveland and went in hibernation and never came back out. I mean, he was the man back then. And truthfully, the Browns should be battling with the Chiefs for Super Bowl, like for Super Bowls if Deshaun Watson plays anywhere close to those standards. But he's unavailable because it's either an injury or he's still trying to get his legs warm and back in the groove of NFL action. It's like, okay, this done happened about, we're going on 3 years now. We already done got all the picks off of it. Thank you, Deshaun Watson, because we got Tank Dell because of you. But my thing with him is like, you can't wait too much longer. If he doesn't perform up to this level, at least he don't have to play up to Houston level because that's top 2 level quarterback play in the league. But if he can play average quarterback play or a decent quarterback, the Browns could be dangerous. And I think he's on the clock. I think if he doesn't perform this year, I think they can make drastic changes at the quarterback decision. I mean, at the quarterback decision.
They will. I mean, Joe.
That's Charles' favorite quarterback. Now we can don't cap because you was the Deshaun. You can be honest. Don't.
Obviously, when he was on Houston, since Houston's my favorite team, I gotta ride with my guy. Obviously, but
now he's a Texas fan, bro.
Oh my God! But look, I ain't gonna lie though. With Joe Flacco coming out of nowhere, that and like winning comeback player of the year, coming from retirement and helping that team stay afloat to having a playoff spot in his own right, it sped up that clock for Deshaun. Because I mean, it's like you got an elite defense, you got a DPOY candidate in Myles Garrett. When healthy, you have Nick Chubb. You got a nice receiving in Amari Cooper, Njoku. You got some decent pieces. And the defense is obviously the bread and butter on that side of the ball. It's the cream of the crop for sure. At one point, it was considered historical at the beginning of the year. Obviously, it leveled off, but it's still pretty damn good. So it's like they only missing that piece at the quarterback position. And if Deshaun Watson can provide it, then finally you get some level of return on investment. But if it's not, then we still gonna have a period of our lifetime when we've been alive for like what? I'm 23 years old. You're 23. I'm assuming everyone around here is around that same age range, and they still haven't had a level of quarterback to uplift them to that next level to being a Super Bowl contender.
Yeah, and I think we look at Deshaun Watson in a different light if he was to, come out and play. But you can go ahead, Amari, with yours.
Me, I feel like who's under the most pressure this year? I say Kaleb Williams, rookie quarterback.
Huh?
You don't think so? Nigga,
nah, but I want to hear your point. I wasn't expecting that.
Let me cook. That's not even crazy to say because, I mean, nigga, we just had a whole podcast topic about it, like about a month ago, probably.
He has pressure.
Yeah,
he has a lot of pressure on his shoulders. Yeah,
I'm trying to sit back and let you explain yourself before I get to it. That was just my first reaction. I was like, huh? Wait, hold up. You said Caleb Williams, but like, I'm not. We weren't trying to interrupt you. I want to hear your explanation because you might be able to change my mind.
I mean, I only say he's on that. He has a lot of pressure on his shoulders because I mean, shit. He's fresh out of college. You know what I'm saying? He's expected to take the Bears, you know, to at least like deep in the playoffs. He has a lot to like prove. Basically, that like everybody's expecting him to do so much, and he's a rookie. At the end of the day, he's a rookie quarterback. So it's like, at the end of the day, this is the NFL, bro. So it's like this is a whole different ball game than SEC. What is that? What are the Trojans in? That's Pac-12. This is a whole different ball game than college ball, bro. So it's like they're expecting him to just do all these things and everything like that. And it's like you gotta remember, like rookie quarterback, and he's human, bro. Like not everybody can just come out and do. And well, I'm gonna say not everybody can. CJ Stroud just did it. Not everybody can come out and do what CJ Stroud just did, bro. So it's like I feel like he has a lot of pressure on his shoulders. Team-wise, I can really name another player, honestly.
Who your team?
Team-wise?
Yeah.
I say team-wise, I say the Texans, real shit, since we be in 1K. I say the Texans because, and I feel like y'all gonna do good. This ain't no hate, you know what I'm saying? But I feel like the Texans, y'all have a lot of pressure on y'all because y'all received all of these pickups. But the question is, are y'all gonna like win games? How far y'all gonna go? Are y'all gonna go past where y'all left off at in the playoffs? Like, you know what I'm saying? So I feel like y'all gonna do good, but it's just like I feel like CJ, everybody. I feel like the whole team got like a lot of pressure on their shoulders, honestly, bro. So it's like. That's just how I feel about it.
I think.
Now, are you saying that Caleb Williams has a lot of pressure on his shoulders because being a number one pick, you are expected to come in and turn the franchise around?
Yeah.
And you're expected to perform at the number one pick. And then if you don't perform, they'll be quick to call you a bust. I mean, I know that's normally what happens. I feel like that's where he was coming from. Just saying that, but, you know.
But, like, most pressure in the entire league, I can't say.
In the entire league. Oh,
yeah, what? Yeah. I'm like, hold on now. Ain't no way a rookie got the most pressure in the entire league. I'm like, shit, we don't know if we good or not yet.
Shit.
And like team wise, I wasn't really just mad. Like the Texans was a solid one. I mean, Texas, we do got a lot of firepower, a lot of weapons and stuff. I don't think we're under the most pressure, but I think we are under a little, under a magnifying glass now.
Because nigga, y'all got niggas that's binoculars, nigga. Like niggas is watching y'all, so.
But like, I don't.
Everybody is expecting y'all. Y'all got all these pickups, bro. So you niggas better.
But the most pressure.
How I feel about it.
The most pressure in the league, I would say.
I mean, y'all already said the Bengals. I mean, I feel like that's pretty obvious. You know what I'm saying? Like Joe has a lot of fucking pressure on his shoulders, and he coming back. I feel like it's gonna be his revenge here, but it's just like the team is falling apart, bro. Like he ain't really got nobody. All he has is Tee Higgins, Jamar. He still don't have a good defense. It's like they don't have shit, bro. And if he don't got a good old line, hell, he's gonna be back injured again. So it's like, shit. That's like with Justin Herbert, bro. If this nigga, well, the old line has gotten better, but we gotta see it in game. Like if the Chargers don't get it, if the Chargers old line don't do what it's supposed to, what it's like predicted to do from Jim Harbaugh, bro. What? Herbert is fucked, bro. That nigga's gonna be probably with a broken pinky again, broken finger or something, bro. So
I think it's Herbert.
That's really how I feel about it, bro. He's cooked, bro. Like,
nah, you might cap him.
He should be better. He should for sure do better. But that was like y'all, that was a great pick, bro. Cause that's what I thought of. Like at first, I was like, damn, the Bengals, like they are for sure under the most pressure. But other than that,
Okay, Charles, let me hear yours. I want to
say Ravens too.
All right, so for the player under the most pressure, honestly, I feel like it's Aaron Rodgers. I mean, you got to think about it from the standpoint of the last few seasons. We ain't talking about the legacy, the MVPs, the Super Bowl he won damn near 15 years ago. We got to look at him for who he is now. This man has held the Jets hostage, getting all his personnel there, hiring Nathaniel Hackett, the same guy who ruined the Broncos with that terrible last contract with Russell Wilson. Same guy that butchered that franchise to where they're looking and overvaluing quarterbacks just to get back to relevancy. You got him getting guys like Randall Cobb and Alan Lazard, for the most part, obtaining roster spots that could be used for other guys that you need. You basically have the entire New York Jets franchise basically looking at you like, okay, you can be the savior. You can actually get us to this promised land that we haven't been in a long ass time.
Right.
And granted, we give you a pass because of the fact that you was injured after the first 3-4 plays of your career in New York. But at the same time, like, you have a whole lot of pressure on your shoulders, because it's not like the last time we seen you on the field was you was looking like the greatest thing since sliced bread. I mean, 2022, we did see you get knocked off from the playoff race in your last days in Green Bay. And we have all these expectations because the Jets are literally one quarterback away. They got a great defense. They got a nice receiving core with Garrett Wilson. They have a nice running back core. The defense is pretty damn good with Sauce and Quinn Williams and all these guys, right? They're just one quarterback away, and they felt like it was you. They gave you all that money. They mortgaged their future and everything of that nature. They looked at Zach Wilson and was like, yeah, you ain't enough. We need a guy that's actually a solid veteran who can take us over the top. They feel like it's you. And now it's your time to shine because the clock is ticking. And either y'all are going to get it done or the Jets are going to be back in this period of mediocrity that we've known them to be for as a franchise. As far as the team goes, you got a few choices. For me, it's kind of surprising, but I feel like it's Dallas. I mean, like, as a
I'm glad I didn't say that too. I was gonna say it, but I was like, I thought somebody else was gonna have it too, so I didn't want to say it.
Well, I mean, why Dallas? We're not expecting. Why are we? I mean, we expect Dallas to do what Dallas does, though. We're not expecting nothing different. At least I'm not.
Okay, obviously we know that they're chokers in the playoffs. They're pretty damn good just to be
they'll
really.
They'll win the division for sure.
Yeah, they'll win their division. They get their little 11, 12 wins. They'll do that.
Not this year.
Okay, well, even if they don't win the division, we expect them to go to the playoffs. Probably, right?
Nah.
You don't think they'll go to the playoffs?
Bro, I see a lot of good teams in the NFC this year. You got Detroit, you got the Rams, you got the 49ers, you got somebody got to win the NFC South. I mean, I think this year probably be ATL with Kirk Cousins, but we never know.
Yeah.
But then
a lot of people are.
That boy Schiff.
I mean,
that boy going to the abyss. That boy Schiff was zoning out. I'm like, dang.
Y'all just lagging down.
I think he back now.
Yeah.
Oh, that's crazy because y'all shit went out too.
Damn.
Like you and my shit went out on my shit.
I was like, dang, what the heck? But Charles, why you say that your Cowboys are under the most pressure this year?
My Cowboys?
Bro.
I'm not going to entertain that BS, man. But I say the Cowboys because it's a lot of moving pieces that could be affected based off how this season occurred, like how it goes down. I mean, if this season doesn't pan out, we look at the window that they have as them being like actual title contending teams. We all don't expect them to win it, obviously. But for those that are within the organization, there's a lot of domino effects that could happen. You end up having a bad season. We don't know what's going to happen with that. We don't know what's going to happen with CeeDee. We don't know what's going to happen with Micah. We don't know what's going to happen with the rest of those integral pieces that's on that roster. they've been getting to the playoffs for a long period of time without making any significant progress. We spoke about it with the 49ers a few episodes ago. It's like, at what point do you actually get past, bump your head in the ceiling? At what point do you break through that door? You keep on knocking on it. You got to at least make some progress and actually cross that finish line. We talked about it with the 76ers and the NBA as well. Y'all pretty damn good for a long period of time, and y'all got nothing to show for it. It's the same thing with the Cowboys. It's not in the sense of that they got pressure in terms of winning it all, but the domino effects that could happen if they were to fail. I mean, hell, they was thinking about firing their coach, and they was having great success with him that we haven't seen since Jason Garrett. So it's like Mike McCarthy could be up out of there. Jerry Jones, we don't know what the fuck he gonna do. You know what I'm saying?
They're supposed to be like, they did like. You said, what's his name? What was the coach's name again? Mike McCarthy. Yeah, it's supposedly he don't like Jerry Jones or something like that. I just seen something about that on it was like Pro Football.
He like Jerry. He employing him.
What did I just see? Hold on. PF.
They got hit with butt crack sports.
Nah, it was PF. It was PF something. I forgot.
Ball sack.
I seen that host. No, nigga. I don't even have Twitter. I don't even have Twitter to like. That's only on there. This hoe's on Instagram. It was like PA Sports.
Trust me, they worldwide. They spread out the BS to everybody, every platform.
He got it off of NFL memes.
It was JP. I think it was
Shut up. Shut up. Eat that.
Bro, it's right here. It's JPA football. It says Cowboys head coach Mike McCarthy is reportedly beginning to get fed up with owner Jerry Jones, says Tyler Doom. McCarthy's doing the best he can. Some of the people I've talked to have said that he's getting fed up with it a little bit. Nigga, that's not cap. It's rumors, though. It's just rumors. So it's like.
Yeah, shit to your people.
I feel like my player and my team is the same, but I feel like I'm gonna say the Ravens have a lot of pressure on them this season just because of the fact that they did make one of the biggest offseason trades by getting Derrick Henry, and I think a lot of people free agency. Okay, during free agency,
he got signed.
Big move during free agency to go get him, and I just feel like a lot of times we don't look at Lamar as an elite quarterback because he doesn't have that Super Bowl on his resume and that Super Bowl MVP, and I just think once him and the Ravens get over that hump, we'll be looking at him in a different light than we do now, and he has to be mentioned in the conversation when we talk about elite quarterbacks, and he'll be an elite company. And I just think Derrick Henry, too, has a lot to prove because, I mean, outside of he puts up the stats but doesn't really have a lot to show for it. Like Charles was just speaking to, he don't really have nothing to show for it. I mean, leading the league in rushing yards while he's injured is that just shows how great he really is. But I just think once he kind of gets that Super Bowl under his belt, then I feel like we'll just look at him and just the whole Ravens organization as a whole just differently. I mean, if it wasn't for, Patrick Mahomes playing out of his mind and the Chiefs and everything like that, I feel like the Ravens will be, I think the Ravens go on to beat the 49ers in the Super Bowl, in my opinion. But that's why I feel like it's under the most pressure, Lamar Jackson and the Ravens.
I think the Ravens is a good one for sure. And I like both of them because I think Lamar Jackson, me and Charles, we got into it in previous episodes about because he's a big Lamar fan. I told him that Lamar doesn't play up to those regular season standards like he should be, and we can't sit here and continue to keep giving him top three. He's a top 3 NFL quarterback in the league because he got 2 MVPs. I'm like, we can't just keep giving him that stuff in the regular season when he don't go to the postseason and perform up to the regular season standards. Yeah. So that's why that's a great
Super Bowl. And that Super Bowl, you gotta, you know what I'm saying? You gotta say he is top 3 after that.
Yeah, if he wins, he for sure be top 3. But
yes,
he didn't, so I wouldn't put him top 3. And I'm glad that we got a smart brother up in here and Schiff that's educated my boy Versi because he get kind of cuckoo sometimes.
I'm Ray Charles to the BS.
Yeah, I just think that was Because right now it's just like we look at him like, okay, yeah, he's good, but like it's just something that's missing. I think it's that Super Bowl and that Super Bowl MVP if he does win. So I think
throwing the football too.
We speak, but he showed you he could throw the football this season. Like he showed you he could throw the football this past season.
I mean, not
from
me.
Where he started at, from where he started to where he's become.
No, for sure, he got way better. You're right. You're right.
Yeah, he got way better.
I'm talking about in the postseason though, when they were literally. I mean, he didn't. I don't want to get into that. Charles, I mean, go to the next question, Mark. That's gonna be a rant. That's gonna be a rant for a cool little minute. If I had.
That's gonna be for an hour. Another hour.
Another.
Okay. Next topic, man. So we doing a start bench cut. So would you rather start Tee Higgins, Jaylen Waddle, or Devonte Smith?
So my start bench cut. I'll start Devonte. I'll start Devonte Smith. I'll bench Tee Higgins and I'll cut Jaylen Waddle. I think Jaylen Waddle hands are too inconsistent. I think when you get physical with Jaylen Waddle, it's easy to take him out of the game mentally. And I think I just don't think he's the level of receiver as these other two guys. I think Tee Higgins. I mean, we've seen him play on the biggest and brightest stages, and his play didn't dip a bit. He scored 2 touchdowns in the Super Bowl. I mean, that alone kind of showed me like, okay, like.
No, but you got to think about it. To me, I just don't think I mean, I think it's so. Do you feel like Jaylen Waddle is a number one on?
No.
Tyreek.
Tyreek is, so he's number 2.
Yeah.
Nah, Tyreek number 1, bro.
But I just feel like Tyreek is number 1, so Jaylen Waddle is number 2. But I just think like when Tee Higgins was a number 1, he didn't really perform at the level that he should have, in my opinion. When Jamar Chase was out, I feel like that was his opportunity to show that I can be a number 1.
But you know the Bengals, they a situation where they always trying to get it together, not necessarily off a hit performance. And I think like not I'm in agreement with you to a sense because before this season we could have sat here and say Tee Higgins was better than Devonte and Jaylen Waddle. But now
being a number 2 though, you're not getting all those coverages like you would. I mean, if I got Jamar Chase on the other side as a coach, I'm fuck the number 2. We got to go guard him. Like
but you see, every player we got are all 3 of those are 2s. None of them are 1s. So that's why it's kind of like that's why these are the players that we kind of going with because like those are 3 high level 2s that could potentially be 1s, and let's see who we think is better than who. And so me, I think Devonte gives me the most wide receiver 1 vibes. I think he's a talented route runner. He's physical. I mean, despite his small frame. I don't know how much he weighs. Probably about $170.
He weighed the same as me. He 187.
Okay.
Yeah, but I mean, he if there was any number 2 in the league that screams number 1 is Devonte. When AJ Brown missed that playoff game, Devonte showed up and showed out. Devonte in the Super Bowl, he came, showed up, and showed out. I think
he wasn't
Devonte.
170, my fault.
Yeah, I knew 170, but I think Devonte is the best receiver out of the 3. I think he has the best hand. I mean, as far as 50-50, go get it. We know that's Tee Higgins. As far as speed, we know Jaylen Waddle, but I think Devonte Smith is overall a better overall receiver. Could play outside, could play inside the numbers. He can do whatever you need. So, me personally, I'm taking Devonte. I'm starting him. I'm benching Tee Higgins, and I'm cutting Jaylen Waddle.
Yeah, I mean, go ahead.
You want me to go? For me, it'd be the same order. I mean, Devonte is clearly the better receiver out of the 2, so I would start Devonte. What'd you say? I have bench Tee Higgins and then cut Jaylen Waddle. Devonte, I mean, excellent route runner. You could put him on in any position. You can put him at X. You can put him at slot. You can put him at Z. Like, you can put him whatever, bro. Like, he's fast. He can catch. Hell, like TK said, he's physical at times. I mean, despite the slim frame of him, I mean, that's really a bonus because he's shifty as hell, too. Like, I don't know if y'all ever – that's why I looked at you like that when you said Jaylen Waddle the fastest. I mean, he is in a sense, but him and Devonte are probably like on the same level when it comes to speed because
No.
Devontae is fast.
No.
Devontae is fast as hell.
I got a question. Who's the better route runner out of Jaylen Waddle and Tee Higgins?
T Higgins. Tee Higgins
is a better route. Okay.
Yeah,
I think speed plays a bigger.
You disagree, Charles?
I say T.
Okay.
Charles, who your list?
Honestly, I got Devonte at the one. Like, I start him, obviously. I feel like he has the better body of work. Also, when he was having A.J. Brown gone, he definitely showed tendencies of being a number one overall receiver, a number one option. Honestly, I got Waddle as my bench. And it's honestly because of the fact that I look at what Tee Higgins was able to do without Chase. And he held his own to a certain extent, but not to the level that I would have expected. Also, when I look at what Waddle has done, you look at him as someone that's not a number one option. We got to remember his rookie year, he didn't have Tyreek Hill, and he showcased that he was able to be a great pass catcher for Tua to throw the ball to. He was able to do that for a longer period of time. None of them really have an injury history, but I'm trying to contextualize everything. Waddle played obviously more games. Tee Higgins, he had decent numbers, but he did play hurt as well, so that kind of impacted it on the back end. And then he is, which is kind of unfortunate. Smith being the lightest frame out of everyone, surprisingly, is the most durable, which is kind of crazy. Yeah. And then Waddle, I mean, he's the only receiver that I could really look at with game-changing speed off the rip that actually translates to successful play on the field. Like, for all the hype that we gave John Ross, and it didn't pan out when he was in Cincinnati, we don't really see that just translate to being a successful receiver in the league. But Jaylen Waddle has showcased that, hey, he can actually do that for himself. Like, he can actually pair up with Tyreek Hill. And then as far as how each of these number two receivers pair with their number ones, I feel like Waddle complements Tyreek better than Higgins complements Chase. Like, obviously, if one of them goes down, they can hold their own to a certain extent, but I feel like Tee Higgins is on the back end. Not to say that he's bad, but I feel like he's not as better of a two compared to Smith and Waddle. So, yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with the same lineup that you had, Charles. Just because I think it just comes down to preference and what you like to see when you're watching it. I mean, I went with like he said, Devonte starting, benching Jaylen Waddle and cutting Tee Higgins. I mean, I just feel like Devonte, like I said, is the best all around out of all of them. And I think Jaylen Waddle has just shown what he was able to do without Tua and, like Charles said before, Tyreek Hill got there. And I think Tee Higgins to me, I think Tee Higgins is too what am I trying to say? To me, Tee Higgins just don't do it for me, just personally watching it just from an aesthetic standpoint as far as Jaylen Waddle. I mean, like Jaylen Waddle does. Like, when I look at Jaylen Waddle, I look at him as somebody who's going to change the game. You have to worry about him. Like, he damn near could be a number one, in my opinion. So it's like, you have to worry about him just going into, if I'm going to play the Dolphins, I got to worry about Jaylen Waddle. Not to the length like a Tyreek Hill, but almost like, okay, we got to worry about Tyreek. Then I think Jaylen Waddle's next on the list. But that's just how I would look at it, just preference-wise.
Yeah. He's somebody you got to, like, really look out for. He, like,
yeah, you got a game plan.
Can't slip on that.
Yes.
Well, yeah, game plan for all of them. Shit, those are high-level too.
You think so for Tee Higgins? Like,
yeah, for sure. You can't.
I mean, we don't. Yeah, I'm not saying we don't worry about Tee Higgins, but it's like, I don't know. Can he beat me? Like, can he beat me?
Talking about vertical, no.
If we
but
talking, I ain't gonna lie, like vertical. I mean, Tee Higgins, he's a good route runner. All three of them, three of these receivers we talking about are very talented, bro. Like, they are very talented. Like, Jaylen Waddle, I'm like, yes, I said cut him, but Jaylen Waddle was cold, bro. He is nice, bro.
Like, there's no wrong answer.
I mean, you don't got to defend him now. Shoot. We ain't bashing nobody. We think
I like to watch
that two other players are better. You don't got to sit there and say that they're all good. They go through enough criticism on mainstream. Shoot.
Yeah, and truth be told, I ain't gonna lie. Tee Higgins lost me a lot of money.
I thought she was gonna say like Charlotte Boyd or something.
Man, Charles doesn't know how to bet. That's it.
Hey, I got money in the pot, so I come up off of something.
Anyway, Margaret, talk about the money in the pot.
All right, so next topic, man. So NFC. Which team in the NFC has the best chance to beat the 49ers?
Me, I'll say that's a toughie. I was stuck between two, but if I had to pick one, I'll probably sit here. I'll say Detroit. I'll say Detroit because I think Jameson Williams might take that next step this year. I believe Jameson Williams will. I don't want to sound crazy, but it's just a prediction. I think he will become one of those top tier wide receiver twos on the team and be in the talks with Devonte Smith and Tee Higgins and the Jaylen Waddle, the higher level number twos. I think he'll elevate his play this year. Obviously OTAs and stuff, we can't, put too much hype into that. But I mean, hey, he been looking like a different man if we ain't been paying attention, bro. But coming back with a Jahmyr Gibbs year 2, coming back with Amon-Ra fully paid, Jared Goff fully paid with. I mean, it's an argument. You can really say Laportier is a top 4 tight end in the league. I mean, shoot, he's like that. He made the Pro Bowl. He's like that. You got defense. I mean, Aiden Hutchinson coming back on a year 3. You got.
I was waiting on you to say him too.
Yeah, Aiden Hutchinson's a monster.
Yeah.
He's gonna be a monster this year. And then bringing in DJ Reader from Cincinnati is huge too on your interior with Darius McNeil.
For sure.
I think Detroit, their bigger criticism was obviously their defense. Their offense was explosive. They have the best O-line in the league with a great skill position group. But now adding DJ Reader, but now getting Brian Branch on another year, with getting Teron Arnold out of Alabama in the draft. I think you can do a lot of things with that unit that you have back there in your secondary. I think that Detroit could be the most dangerous team that can threaten San Fran getting back to the Super Bowl. I think it's a close number 2. I don't want to say it because that might be one of y'all answers, but if y'all do say it, I'll just say that was my other one. But I think Detroit overall, truthfully, last year they should have won that game. If they didn't piss down their leg and choke that game, they should have been in the Super Bowl, me personally. But
yeah, I think so too. But yeah, I'm right along with you with Detroit. I mean, I think they have the best chance of beating the 49ers, like you said. I mean, I really like the way they drafted, getting that corner out of Alabama. Arnold out of Alabama, I really liked it. And just the uncertainty also.
And they got Carlton Davis too. Exactly. Out of Tampa Bay, they signed him.
Exactly. And just the fact that with Brandon Ayuk's future being uncertain with the 49ers right now is kind of like, I think they'll have the best odds to make a run at the 49ers and kind of get them out of there. But they're not going to be an easy out at all. I think we all know that. But I just think as far as like the most complete team and the way that they've built their roster and, kind of made moves during free agency and stuff like that, I feel like we got to pay attention to them. I mean, we got to just be on the lookout for them, especially what they were doing last year. Like you said, I mean, if they don't, trick that game off, we're having a whole different discussion. So, but yeah.
Charles?
Well, so you chose Detroit too, Cheers?
Yeah. I had Detroit.
All right. Truthfully, that was like the only team that was giving me pushback because like it was a coin flip between them and the team I'm finna choose. So I guess for the sake of being different, I'm thinking Green Bay. I mean, Detroit wasn't the only team that realistically had a chance of knocking the 49ers out of the playoffs. Jordan Love, for every bit of criticism we thought that he had with how early he struggled at the beginning of the season, he looks pretty damn good. Like, he is a game changer for that franchise. Seems like they always hit in a gold mine when they're looking for quarterbacks. They know the right time to get off of them, too. I mean, they got off of Favre at the right time. They got off of Rodgers, seemed like at the right time, because now we think that the Packers seem like to be a team that's on the rise, scheduled pretty damn early for their development. They got a great receiving core. They had a great running back in Aaron Jones that they
right. Okay, let's say okay receiving core. Let's just not say great now. We can't throw around that G word.
Okay, great may be
it's a solid. They have a solid.
But they're pretty damn solid. Like
they're
solid.
They're very talented. They're very talented.
Solid for sure. Not great. Texas have a great receiving core. They have a solid.
I'd say great for the standards of the NFC. Like, obviously, you got the cream of the crop and what you got in the Eagles and the 49ers, but I feel like they could be formidable as well. As far as like overall, who they have with Wicks and Watson and Reed and all those guys. They lost a great running back in Aaron Jones, and who they replaced him with? Josh Jacobs. They got a great play call. They got a shutdown corner in Jair Alexander still doing his thing. Defense looks pretty damn good and formidable. If Detroit isn't the team to knock off the Niners, then I wouldn't be surprised if them cheeseheads knock it off as well.
Yeah, I like that pick too. They should have did last year as well. The Jordan Love and Brain and get turned backwards and throwing stupid picks when the game didn't need that whatsoever. So I think that was a great pick. Mari, who you got?
I think I know what your second one is, but I'm gonna let Amari go and we'll see if we're on the same page. I think it's my second choice too.
Mari could say, "Well, I got Detroit."
Nah, I mean, of course, Detroit most definitely has potential to knock the 49ers off, but I'd say the Eagles, bro. Just
he said it.
Just off the acquisition.
Yeah, that was the one.
Yeah, bro. Just off the acquisition that they made, it's been crazy, bro. Drafted two of the best corners in college football, bro, and then they got Ananias. I mean, they got Saquon. I mean, they have a pretty good receiving core as well.
Brought back Chauncey Gardner-Johnson.
Yes, bro, and they defense.
Bryce Huff in free agency.
Yeah, bro. They got a nice little defense as well. So it's
but I do think their O-line will take a hit just losing Kelsey to retirement.
Yeah, ain't nobody gonna be like that, man. Like, there was so much O-line talent in this past draft. I don't know. Did they draft the O-lineman?
I'm not sure.
They probably did.
They did.
I mean, they weren't nobody in the first pick.
Yeah, but I for sure feel like the Eagles, they could beat them. Now, what comes to that is just with Jalen Hurts just being able to really, slang the ball, bro. That's really it. Like, not relying on his legs too much. Like, you can rely on them a little bit, but, you know what I'm saying? Stay back there and slang the ball, bro. You know what I'm saying? You the quarterback. So, that's really all it really comes down to. And I know he can do it, but it's just like, end of the day, that's the team I feel like. Other than the Lions, I feel like the Eagles for sure can. I
like the Eagle pick for sure. Yeah, I like it. I think that the Eagles, their success and which will make them real contenders is based solely off of Jalen Hurts, but also the defense isn't as abysmal as they were last year. Going down the later stretches of the year, I mean, their cornerback play was by far one of the worst cornerback plays I've ever seen in my entire life. I mean, shoot, you can throw it right at the DB and the receiver gonna catch it. I mean, the Eagles were just not good on the back end whatsoever. So bringing in two, I think I probably put DeGene at safeties. What I've been hearing, him and Gardner-Johnson. I wonder how they're gonna do that because they got Reed Blankenship. That kind of high.
Blankenship is.
Did the Eagles move on from? Did the Eagles move on from?
Slay and Bradbury still there.
No, is Swift still in there or no?
Swift. He played for Chicago.
Chicago.
Yeah, he played for the Bears now.
What do we think about Atlanta? Just as a sleeper for to make a run to beat the 49ers.
I don't. I think it's based off of Kirk. I mean, it really is based off Kirk. Because I think that ACL got somewhat of a solid line. Their defense was, Their defense was like low key kind of nice. Like, Grady Jarrett is underrated as hell. AJ Terrell is okay. Like, people try to hype him up like he top 10. I'm like, no, he's on the outside of top 10. AJ Terrell he's a solid corner, but he had one good season. We can't give him all that hoorah. But Jesse Bates, that might be
that boy. Nice.
He a monster. That's a top 3 safety in the league, if not top 2. But I don't think ATL, not on year one with Kirk Cousins. Hopefully, we can see a little Michael Penix action, even though that's highly unlikely. But I mean, that would be exciting for me to see Michael Penix go out.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't really like that draft.
You said what, Caleb?
I said you got your next one now.
Yeah, I didn't really like that draft pick of Michael Penix, especially when they just paid Kirk Cousins. But
it's Atlanta.
That was terrible. But
Charles Smith.
Okay, let's moving on to the Cowboys, man. So these players haven't been extended out yet. Micah, CeeDee, and Dak. So which of these players do the Cowboys need to prioritize before extend? It's prioritized extending. My fault. I do this every episode.
Shut it.
I'm just look at it. I'm just having it right here. I ain't even tripping. All right. So moving on to the Cowboys, man. Which players do the Cowboys need to prioritize extending before the upcoming season comes? Which is Micah Parsons, CeeDee Lamb, and Dak Prescott. So out of those 3, who do they need to extend?
I think you got to start off from the most important. Who's the best at their position? I think it's by far Micah Parsons. I think we done already seen that Dak Prescott, we done paid him the money when he hit the money that y'all gave him originally was y'all overpaid for Dak. And what has he done? Huh?
I said most definitely overpaid at that point in time.
Yeah, you overpaid for a quarterback like Dak to give you 12 plus win seasons. Whoop-de-doo. But as obviously you investing all that money into a player. Are you expecting 12 plus win seasons? Or are you expecting realistic Super Bowl aspirations and chances every single year? And more likely than not, Dak Prescott hasn't produced. So I think, if anything, Dak Prescott isn't worried about it. I think for y'all, it's like, if you feel like you can't get nobody else, if you don't got a backup plan, it's like, what the hell are you doing? But realistically, I would say Dak Prescott is probably the least, the last person on their mind when it comes to paying, because Dak's good regardless. He's going to get paid regardless. But I think Micah Parsons, I mean, he's a top. I don't know. We can debate where y'all have him in defensive the end conversation, but I think he's a top 5 defensive end, give or take.
At his position,
yeah. I got a couple guys over him: T.J. Watt, Myles Garrett, Max Crosby.
Mm-hmm.
You got
Bosa. Bosa for sure. So I believe that.
That demon, can't forget about him.
Yeah, but I believe that CeeDee Lamb, I think it's hard because you can make a case that like you can let CeeDee walk because there's been so many good receivers coming in the league where it's like it kind of like you lose one and then another one just pop up out the blue and they turn it to a star right before your eyes. So I think the Cowboys' main priority should be this offseason to get Micah secure, getting him good out the way, because he's gonna hurt your pockets even worse next year if you let him wait and the market keep going up and up and up, like how we said with the receivers. You need to hurry up and get that situated. And then after that, I would say CeeDee would be number 2 for me on the priority list, and then third, Dak. I mean, if Dak win you a Super Bowl, then it's kind of like you have to pay him, but I wouldn't be in no rush. I mean, Dak has had a large sample size in the NFL of showing that he is incapable of completing that mission and getting you to the largest stage in sports, which is the NFL Super Bowl. So I don't think prioritizing Dak and giving him close to $60 million, which is what is reported what he asking for, I don't think that's not in the cards. In order to be a real contender, I think you got to kind of just be a gambler, man, roll the dice and see how Dak does. And if he doesn't perform up to the level that you think, get off of him. I mean, obviously you can't get nothing in return for him because by then he will be a like unrestricted free agent. So he you can't get no value off him. You can't trade. You can't do nothing there. But
originally I had Micah T-Cow, but I ended up changing it to CeeDee just because of the fact that for the most part, I mean, just Dak has been mediocre. I think we can all agree on that as far as the postseason.
Mediocre.
Just as far as playoffs is concerned. And Cowboys haven't really gone anywhere, just postseason wise. We all kind of know that, but I mean, I just think CeeDee is kind of. I mean, I think. Do you guys think that CeeDee is kind of becoming fed up with the fact that we're not really going anywhere, despite the fact that they are getting, receivers, left and right coming out the draft? I mean, I think at some point, when do we, extend him, because he is a number one receiver on our team, and he does command a certain level of importance to the team. So I mean, I think prioritizing him, and then to me, I think Micah is definitely a close second, especially the way he's been, speaking on his future with the Cowboys and hanging out with CJ Stroud and all that, on podcasts talking about just different things and just the Cowboys in general. But I think
I know where he really want to go.
Yeah, I think it's kind of we all kind of can see what he's trying to, what he's conveying online and on just different on other platforms. But yeah, for me, I think it's CeeDee just because of the fact that he is their number one receiver.
Mercy.
I'm not gonna lie, mine is gonna be a little different from y'all's, because the way I kind of look at it is you got to value it from, obviously you want to pick the best player out of the bunch, and we all know that it's not that. Like, we can all sit up here and agree to that. But I feel like if you look at the positions, you got an edge rusher, a receiver, and a quarterback. It comes down to the value of what you're looking for. You get great production from Micah, you get great production from CeeDee. Dak is iffy. But in terms of being able to replace that level of however you view that talent, it's way easier to replace a receiver and an edge rusher than it is a quarterback, albeit he is at best case above average. He has not performed to the level of Super Bowl contenders that we expect the Cowboys to be with his optimal position. But with that being said, if you don't pay him, then you kind of stuck in the mud, because you ruin the camaraderie that he has built up with CeeDee, and he has to build that connection with somebody else, which isn't always the greatest. Then you're replacing him with someone that's not guaranteed to give him that level of production that Dak has given you for the better part of the last few seasons. Micah Parsons is an excellent player and an excellent defender, obviously. So he's going to command a ransom of money. CeeDee Lamb just went to the Pro Bowl, and he's been to the Pro Bowl more than once. So and he's an all-pro receiver. So he's going to command a large amount of money. So at this point, if I'm Jerry Jones, I'm looking at who do I value more for the success of this team, and who do I feel like is the easiest to replace. So in my priorities, I don't value Dak as much as the others, but he's certainly someone that you can't just find in the marketplace, whether the draft, whether free agency, not off the rip at least. So I would prioritize signing him back. As far as
who did you say you prioritize?
I prioritize Dak.
Dak? Okay.
Yeah, because of the fact that you can't easily replace a quarterback no matter what. Like, we've seen franchises get ruined just by overpaying for somebody or looking for the diamond in the rough and never being able to find them. I mean, hell, certain franchises is stuck in the mud for the longest period of time. We just got done talking about Deshaun Watson, and the best quarterback that's come out of the Browns since the turn of the century is who? Him, Baker Mayfield, a playoff appearance, and a dude that hasn't realistically played up to his standards for the better part of his career in a Cleveland uniform. So, like, you see these franchises struggling when they don't find their guy, and you see these franchises that get turned around when they do find them, but they don't find them often, which is why you look at teams like the Texans, the Packers. They got lucky in finding their guys because you don't find them often. It's hard. It's hard to find that replacement. But you can easily find a receiver. They seem like they're a dime a dozen in a draft and free agency if you finesse a team in a trade like we did with Stephon from the Bills. And then as far as a defender, while they're not as commonplace as a pass catcher, you could definitely find someone that can give you that impact level from the draft that you could cultivate on a cheaper deal. So I would prioritize Dak for the sake of argument, second, I'll prioritize Micah because of how easy it is to find a receiver just throughout the league.
Well, first off, I think you're insane. I think you need to get checked out, man. Like, you've been on that stuff again. Because there's no way this dude just sat here with a straight face and said to prioritize signing Dak, Dakota Rain, versus Prescott. That's atrocious. I can't not like his track. He done showed his track record of not being able to produce with multiple teams constructed with multiple all pros together. So why in the hell are we? Yeah, why the hell are we going to re-sign him to a whopping another 4 or 5 years on $60 million annually, paying this guy that we done already got a large sample size, and he done shown, hey, I'm not big enough yet. I got a little one. I can't finish. I can't complete the mission. I can't win my Super Bowl with these OP teams. Maybe I need to find somebody else to get the job done, but I done showed y'all for pretty much for the large part of his whole career in Dallas that every team that y'all gave me with top 5 O-line, let me not say top 5 because I'm discredited Dallas. Every team I've had in my whole career has been top 3 O-line or better. Every single year I've been in the league, I done played with multiple Hall of Famers on my front line with good skill positions, and yet and still, I haven't yet to get to the conference final, not one time. So I'm like, why would I prioritize re-signing back what I'm already knowing going to be the rerun if I can take my chances on that, sign back a staple on my team, and try to go find another quarterback? Because at this point, how many times are you going to continuously keep going in the cycle of mediocre quarterback play before you're saying, I had enough? I'm not getting any younger with Jerry Jones. Pretty much, we're pretty much seeing the last of Jerry Jones. He already said his fatality is near. So why would he want to, before he's on his deathbed, him watching Dak Prescott stink up another NFC wild card or stink up another NFC divisional round with teams that's already coming in? He's coming in with good enough teams that he should be able to do something with if he just performs up to at least regular season standpoints, and yet and still he fails to do so. So I'm like, if I'm Dallas, I would not want to prioritize somebody that I already had a large sample size of, like, even though, like you said, it wasn't a bad point of you saying it's hard. It's hard as hell to find a solid quarterback. So I don't want to just, write you off and saying like everything you said was crazy. Like, it is hard to find good quarterbacks in the league. And when you get one, you hold on to it. But shoot, they done held on to Dak Prescott long enough. This nigga's ass. It's time to get off this nigga and go find the next player.
He said this nigga ass. But I just think you could get more. You could get a decent quarterback for Dak just if you wanted to, sign and trade. But I'll let you rebuttal what he said, or let Amari go, however y'all want to do it.
I feel that, like, I understand, like, he ain't reaching the expectations that we set for him because he has underperformed in the biggest of stages, time in and time out. He keeps on losing to the same exact team, 49ers or the Packers. Either he getting beat by a number or he getting beat by a block of cheese. I get it. But at the same time, you got to think about it like this. Obviously, it's super duper hard to replace a quarterback, regardless of what level you feel he's at. He is, at worst case scenario, average, at worst. And then even an average quarterback is difficult as hell to find. You can find another CeeDee Lamb, like, with relative ease. I mean, for all intents and purposes, you can literally look in the next draft class and find that special go-getter that you can grab, like, with ease. If you don't feel like you trust the draft, you can go to free agency. You can do a trade. You can do a signing trade. With Micah Parsons, edge rusher might be the most important position to have on the football field outside of quarterback. So I could see where the rarity can come from. But we've seen guys that look for better marketplaces and better deals for their market value all the time. They can find someone in free agency. As far as what Dak Prescott gives you, it's a question mark because of, like, well, it's not a question mark. We all understand that he's not upper echelon quarterback in terms of like he's not with the Mahomes, the CJ Strouds, the Burrows, the Allens. We understand that. We get that. We know where he stands. He's at best case scenario a B-level quarterback at best, and that's being generous. But at the same time, it's like if you look for a replacement, that can potentially set your franchise back for a long period of time to where relevancy, like you're the Cowboys, you're going to be relevant, but at the same time, it's like you're not going to be competing for anything within the division. You ain't gonna be you damn sure ain't gonna be competing for the conference or Super Bowl. You might as well just count yourself out of the running for being the best team in the state at that point.
I mean, we're not really getting nowhere with them though. So what am I really losing by losing him? We're in the same spot every year.
Okay, think about it like this. Let's think about it like this. The 49ers are the most consistent franchise in the NFC at this point in time, right?
Right.
Like we would consider that?
Yes.
Yeah.
Do you know how much they mortgaged their future just to bet on a guy that they shipped over to Dallas and Trey Lance? Like they gambled everything that they had because they felt like their Super Bowl window was open. The only reason that they're in this position is because of the fact that, hey, we lucked up with the Mr. Irrelevant in the back end of the draft with Brock Purdy, and somehow he has been the greatest thing since sliced bread that we've ever had. They've been on the cusp of being a great team, and they haven't been able to get over that hump. They just happen to get lucky. You look at the Jets. They think that Aaron Rodgers is their savior, and we've seen without him, even for whatever we think of him at this moment in time right now, we've seen what Zach Wilson was doing to the Jets. They were a playoff team if it wasn't for him being debatably the worst quarterback in the NFL. We've seen the Broncos look for their guy in the post-Peyton Manning era for God knows how long, and they think they found it in Russell Wilson. And they didn't, and he played so damn bad that they are paying him the rest of his contract despite him wearing another team's jersey. Like, and he set that franchise back for a minute. All the money that they mortgaged in his future, everything. They are at best case scenario, the Broncos are going to be a mediocre, middle of the road team. And that's what they're looking for that guy for the future.
But my thing with the let me get in real quick. My thing in football, and like a lot of people said, it's you're either aiming to be really good or you're aiming to be really bad. But you're not aiming to be in the middle. Because what does that do for you? You're not gonna be able to get the best talent. You're gonna be in the back end of the draft every single year with your B-level quarterback, as you say. So it's kind of like if you're gonna be trash and rebuild or go through a building process with your quarterback, you might as well do it.
Okay.
Because at the end of the day, why would you want to be stuck dash back in the middle of okay, my team isn't elite. I'm not competing for NFC championships and Super Bowls. Instead, I'm competing for we're going to win a division. We're going to have a home playoff game where we're going to lose every single year. It's like, what am I gaining out of that? Like, all you doing is just bringing more and more expectations to somebody that can't deliver and for you to get disappointed year in and year out.
I get that. I understand. But at that point in time, if you're going to make that transition to becoming a rebuilding team, what gives you any sign and level of hope that Micah and CeeDee would even want to stay? I mean, they're looking at themselves as title contenders in their eyes, and they're at elite levels in their positions. You think they're going to want to stay on a team and just get paid a buku amount of money just to sit up here and go win max 6 games because they're in quarterback hell? No, they're going to want to get paid somewhere else where they feel like they get a chance to win. So if you're going to rebuild, if you get rid of Dak Prescott, that's like the ultimate sign of, okay, yeah, we're looking for a new guy, and we're going to just wipe the slate clean. If I'm a Dallas owner, if I'm Jerry Jones, why am I going to invest a large amount of time and money and monetary value into these guys when I know we're not going to be winning anything anytime soon, especially if we get rid of a already relatively average quarterback at best in Dak Prescott? For whatever you look at him, you understand, you know what he is. He's decent enough to get the job done in the regular season, and we see what happens in the playoffs. It is what it is. Maybe we'll get lucky and catch a break. You get rid of him, Now you got to sit up here and look at a rebuilding mode. Now you know you're not going to keep CD and Michael because even though you have the financial capability of it, they're going to want to play for someone that's good, someone that's contending.
But I'm saying though, you could get somebody for Dak Prescott. A team might be just dumb enough to give you something for Dak Prescott. Just off what you're saying, alone. So it's not like we're gonna bring in somebody who's worse than Dak Prescott. I don't think that'll be just wise on their part. And I think just me personally, I think Trey Lance deserves more playing time, just off the fact that we got to see something. I mean, we got to just see a different look just to see what happens. But I mean. We can't say that if Dak walks out, there won't be somebody else walking in. That's not, if the same, if not better. You know what I mean? Than Dak, because I think you can get something for him if you were to trade him. But if he walks in free agency, then it was what you're saying. Then we're in all kind of, what I'm saying, we're in trouble then if that's the case.
Okay, I see that, but okay, let's exclude the draft for a second. We understand that draft is like you're either hitting a diamond in the rough, you're grabbing coal, or you're grabbing something in between. So that's a wild card in itself. Let's look at the quarterback landscape as a whole. Every quarterback that you feel that is better than Dak Prescott, do you feel like those teams are going to be willing to relinquish those guys? I mean, like we could name the list of all the quarterbacks that we feel that we think is better than Dak Prescott, whether subjective or objective. I mean, they're not just going to sit up here and just do a regular one-piece trade or throw in a whole bunch of pieces unless that deal is something that the Cowboys are stupid enough to give. And if they find someone in the free agency market on someone in an expiring deal, then you're basically just gambling on, we are expecting you to at worst be what Dak Prescott is for us. At worst, Dak Prescott was a winning quarterback in terms of the regular season that kept y'all in division contention, conference contention, as a perennial playoff team. And at his best, he was a MVP candidate quarterback, albeit in a down year. And at worst, he's a quarterback that's going to end up with a winning record. So we were expecting, those are high standards for an NFL level quarterback. You're not just going to find that from hardly anybody off the rip, unless the team is just dumb enough to give up somebody. Because we see how much they value the quarterbacks that are worse than Dak Prescott. What makes you think you're going to get someone that's better than him on an expiring deal that's going to be able to do what Dak Prescott can if everybody in the world knows how valuable a quarterback is in the NFL?
I think Dallas would get a quarterback out of the draft if they move off from Dak. I don't think none of these teams will. But it's a no trade clause in that contract, so you can't trade Dak. So the possibility of trading Dak to a place that he don't want to go to is unlikely. So I think if Dallas was to move off from Dak, it would be. I mean, it literally just had to come out exactly like this. Like he had to play out his contract and he go find a new home. But I don't think he'll be able to get moved, not on his will at least. He holds all the cards. He has all the momentum. If he decides to go out there and play like Boo Boo, and they still gonna throw him a whopping $50+ million per year because it's hard to find average quarterbacks in the league. And like if Dallas not gonna pay, I know it's a lot of teams with fat checkbooks that's willing to write a number to get Dak to come to their team. So.
And honestly, I just don't think the Cowboys really care about, going far at this point. I mean, because regardless, they're gonna be talked about. They're gonna sell jerseys. They're gonna sell tickets. All of that. Jerry Jones don't lose no money, so I'm not gonna lose no type of money being average. So what am I really losing outside these games? I don't really care about these games because if I win, y'all gonna talk about me. If I lose, you're gonna talk about me. I don't lose in that scenario. So I think that's a part of the Cowboys' problem is that the Cowboys players wise might want to win and go far, but from an organization standpoint, I don't really think they care. Just off jersey sales and just like being on national TV, at least how many times we give them a year? Like three times?
What?
Like how many times do you think the Cowboys are on national TV?
Probably like 10, 11.
Yeah, see, like we're not losing nothing by losing these games at this point. So I think that's another thing that they're kind of in that the players on that team are kind of in right now. But Amari, what you think?
With me, I prioritize extended CD, honestly, especially off the season he just had. He just had a historic season. I mean, y'all say it's easy to find these talented receivers in the draft, but you're not gonna find anybody like CD. And I'm not trying to make it seem like he's just like the best receiver in the league, but hell, CD is a great receiver, bro. Whether it's route running, catching,
for sure.
he has it, bro. He's a great receiver, bro. He can get open. He's physical. Hell, he has great ball location. You're not gonna find that in too many receivers. You're gonna get a rookie receiver out the draft. You're gonna have to develop him. You know what I'm saying? Or he might come in already like that. It just depends. And they can come in like that already and still need hella improvement. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, everybody needs improvement on something. But I prioritize Micah Parsons second. I would have prioritized him first, but I put him second because, I mean, look what CD just did, like I said. But yeah, Micah Parsons second because that's a great edge rusher, bro. So it's like, I mean, he's literally what? Yeah, I'm gonna say top 5. He's like top 5 best right now at his position. So, but with Dak, yeah, put him last. I mean, no hate towards Dak, but it's all honesty over here, bro. Like, I don't know. Like with Dak is
nigga Dak, you ass. You ass.
Pretty much.
You realize
Yes, you had. You threw for what? 3K. He got what? 3K this year.
Like 3, close to 4, maybe.
Yeah, he threw like 3K.
4,516 yards.
Yeah, you threw for 4K, but like it's like that's good and all, but bro, it's like you're not taking your team nowhere, bro. Like y'all are getting beat by teams that y'all are supposed to be better than. Like I ain't gonna lie, the Packers they just came out and whooped y'all ass.
They was getting blown out. Like that whole game.
Yes, bro. The Packers just wanted it more.
Yeah,
Charles had nothing to say about his team.
But it's just like, yeah, with Dak, I'd have to put him last, bro.
Man.
He ain't proven to me that he should be, prioritized first or second, bro. So it's like, hell no.
I think that's kind of crazy. You said CD first.
I mean, off the season he just had, bro. I mean, Micah Parsons had a good season too, but damn. Like, you ain't gonna.
I think if you get 180 targets, shit, you should be top 2 in the league in receiving yards and touchdowns and all that fancy stuff.
And that's why we should prioritize him more than he's our number 1. He is offensively, he's our guy that we need to make sure is,
Hell yeah, he's the one that's
and compensated accordingly.
Hell, he the one that get it done for Dallas offense. Ain't Tolly Pollard.
He got 180 targets. He the only one get a chance to get it done. Like,
shit, because nobody else on his team can get it done. So it's like, shit. But y'all ready to move on to the next topic?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah.
All right, man. So, boom. Quarterback edition. We're going to do game changer or game manager. This is QB edition. So, my first one, Jared Goff. Game manager or game changer?
Game manager.
Manager.
Okay. Yeah, I say game manager.
Game manager.
No disrespect to Jared Goff.
Just name the players. Don't say game changer or game manager after all of them. Just be like Charles Versey. And then we can be like game manager. And then
you mean game changer?
Hey, man, he's so strong. All right. Brock Purdy.
Charles Versey, this nigga's sick.
All right, Brock Purdy.
Game manager.
Game manager for sure.
Very respectfully.
Well, I mean, why you say respect? I mean,
he's a high level.
Can we really call him a game manager though for what he's done for the 49ers?
Shoot, he does what he's supposed to do. He does that. He
on the team he has though. He has weapons. I've never seen that before in my life. I think TK, you could go play quarterback for the 49ers if you wanted to. throw the ball to anybody. Brandon Ayuk, Deebo Samuel, whoever, like Christian McCaffrey, George Kittle. It don't matter. Like anybody could go play. I feel like anybody could go play quarterback for the 49ers. Like,
and that's been proven too. Like Jimmy G, Trey Lance to a certain extent. Hell,
That's
they
what I'm
had,
saying. Like,
you know what I'm saying?
just a regular game manager. Like, that's not.
Nah, he probably one on the top of the list, that game manager, because he did get them to the Super Bowl, whether you like it or not. He didn't play bad in it either. I think a lot of those guys.
It's hard to play bad. It's hard to play bad when I got that squad. It's hard. It's real hard to play bad.
We thought it was hard to play bad until we seen Dak Prescott.
I was just about to say that.
Until we see Dak Prescott with CeeDee, Gallup in his prime, and Amari Cooper with prime time Ezekiel Elliott, and a top 3 O-line in the league with multiple. And he shitted the bed. So I'm like,
are we comparing those Cowboys, that Cowboys team, to the 49ers?
Yeah, that's a wash for San Fran. I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah, I don't think
it's a who.
I mean, offensively, they was like that though.
Yeah, they have a better squad though by far. I think San Francisco clears that Dallas team.
Hell no.
Both sides of the ball.
I'm talking about offensively. We're not talking about a whole team. We're talking about quarterback, what makes them game manager, game changer. I think obviously Brock Purdy is the game manager, but I'm like, to say he has the pieces around him to elevate him, I haven't seen any quarterback in San Fran look like that with those level of pieces. Not even Jimmy G. Jimmy G was handing the ball off majority of the game, throwing it about 20 to 25 times a night. Kyle Shanahan literally said if he throws it more than 25, we're in trouble. So to sit there and say that, Brock Purdy, we can say what we want. We obviously not a top 10 quarterback, but does he get it done when he needs to? Despite all the mess ups that occurs prior to his big plays, yes. In the NFC Championship game, he was playing like some boo boo. And what happened? At the end of the game, he started picking up his play, and he made key plays. And obviously, they're good players going to do the rest, and CMC and Ayuk making incredible catches and stuff. But he made those plays when the team needed him most. And like we can sit here and say like, hey, it's the playmakers, but hey, it's a lot of guys that can't make those plays, like Dak Prescott. But Mar, you go to the next one because because we got a lot more to get to. I know Charles gonna be mad at me for a couple of these.
Yeah. Next one, Matthew Stafford, game changer.
Changer.
For sure. CJ Stroud,
game changer. Nigga, the best.
It's a trick question. It's a changer.
All right. Tua Tagovailoa,
game manager.
You're a manager.
Manager. I say manager. He has his spurts when he looked like he a game changer.
Yeah, that's why it's kind of hard. He's very
Tua? He done had some games where I'm like, oh damn, Tua nice. Yeah, but he has some games where I'm just like the fuck? How you mess up that throw?
I mean, is it him having them moments, or is it the Tyreek Hill factor?
Yeah, Bercy.
Tyreek is a good route runner. What you mean? How's it on Tyreek?
No, I'm talking about the credit.
Is it because
Hold on, I didn't hear what he's saying. What did he say?
He was saying like, is it the Tyreek Hill effect that Tyreek Hill is so good that it's not, like I said before, it's not really, it's hard to be bad with that type of squad. It's simple.
Yeah. Oh,
so Amari said game changer, and Oliver said game manager.
I didn't say game changer. I said he's a manager, but I said he has his spurts.
But yeah, I say he's inconsistent. Like sometimes he'll look like a game changer, and then other times it's like, where you at too? I don't know, but
yeah. All right, next one, Josh Allen.
Game changer.
Game changer.
Jalen Hurts. I like how everybody just got quiet. Damn. Oh, Tyler, I'm gonna let you answer first, bro.
Bro, he's the hardest one to go by.
I think for sure.
He's like the definition of like in the middle of game manager, game changer. But if I had to say one, it'll probably be game manager. Just strictly off the fact of like, when you have that level of talent, all you have to do is do your role. And like, I want to say he a game changer, but when you see him where they kind of like prioritize his legs this season and knew how to scheme against him, with a full season of Jalen Hurts playing at that level, he came back the next season and struggled vastly. So I'm like, I can't sit here and say he's a game changer because he had a lot of opportunities to obviously to cement his top. Because we had him in the top 5 quarterbacks in the league going into like last season. Him, Mahomes, Burrow, Allen, and Lamar. I mean, shoot, people were trying to make the argument he was better than Lamar. So it's like, how he go from better than Lamar to now he outside of the top 10, in my opinion. So I'm like, he for sure a game manager. I think if he could have capitalized off the momentum of the Super Bowl, the way he was playing in the Super Bowl and brought it into last year, he could have made he would have been a for sure life for game changer. But me, I think you could put a couple quarterbacks in Philly offense that's not in the top 5 that can operate the offense just to the extent of Dak, if not, not Dak, Jalen Hurts, if not a little better. So I would say game manager.
I was just gonna say, like, I don't know what happened from that Super Bowl to that Super Bowl gameplay. It's kind of taken his play has been on the decline for a little while, and I'm not really sure what happened to it.
They lost their OC.
You said what?
They lost their OC.
Oh, okay.
For sure, but I would think Jalen Hurts will have a little more say-so in the concept they running and what's to his like. At the end of the day, OC can come in with his own identity, but what works for a player, the players are what's going to help OCs get paid. It ain't going to be the OC going to help a player get paid, and especially a quarterback that has full range of the offense. I would feel like that. I keep saying Dak. I would feel like Jalen Hurts will have some level of say-so in the type of offense they run that will maximize his strengths.
But not all coaches are like that, though. Some coaches, you have coaches who you're going to run my system. I don't care how you play. This is what I'm going to run. I'm not a player's coach. We're going to do it my way, or we just not going to, you're going to be over here with me. But we're going to fire
him. They fired him, so I guess it went this way.
All right. Next one, man.
Hey, nobody said anything else. I don't know.
I said, well, what do I think Jalen Hurts is? I feel like he is a hard one. I say, but I'm gonna go game changer because I say game changer. It's kind of hard, but
man, it's hard.
What did you say?
Shit, I'm still thinking because like we seen him at the highest of highs, and at his peak, like you could say he dead ass outplayed Mahomes in the biggest stage of the Super Bowl. But like we seen them lows where he turned into a turnover machine, fumbling the ball, throwing picks left and right.
Looking like Charles on Madden.
We could run.
Seriously, Charles.
Hey, we could run.
Trash.
I ain't good enough, but I don't want to have the recency bias kind of dictate my answer. So I'm gonna have to go game changer because I feel like he's a game changer, but I mean, hey, that could definitely get changed after this season.
Oh, we know. Chip,
I'm gonna say game changer.
Ooh.
Just off the fact that what he's been able to do this season aside, just when he came into the league, how people questioned, would he be able to, would he be able to
throw the ball
in the league? Would he be able to throw the ball, and just how he would be able to pass? And he just kind of proved everybody wrong for that on that aspect of it. Like I said, his play has declined since the Super Bowl. But like Charles said, just that change in offensive coordinator does play a factor in it. I mean, whether you want to, agree to that or not, it does have an effect on your play. But yeah, I'd say game changer just off of what he's been able to do this past season aside.
Mm-hmm. All right, next one, man. Jordan Love.
I think he a game changer. I can't.
I can say game changer. After that Dallas game, I was like, oh yeah.
After the back end of the season last year, I was like, nah, he got something. I seen him torch Minnesota on Monday night, I said, "Oh shit, this nigga serious."
Yeah, he's definitely a game changer. Just the way that his game kind of took that next step, just as far as like his game went. I mean, just being around Aaron Rodgers and just kind of learning and everything like that. He definitely showed me something in that Dallas game, that I wasn't expecting. I was really impressed with what I saw from Jordan Love. So I'm gonna say game changer.
He did a completely 180. So that just off that alone, in that short amount of time, he got to be a game changer.
Yeah, for sure.
All right. Y'all favorite player, Dak Prescott.
Dang, manager.
He's too mediocre to be a game changer for me personally. You can't be a game changer in the middle.
He works it. He got a full-time job at Walmart. He's a manager.
All right, next one. Trevor Lawrence.
Damn.
That's hard. Because he also has the Spurs too. When it's like, damn, okay, T-Law, like you nice, but it's like,
we done seen him struggle too.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like he has his spurts where it's like, you look all right, you nice. Then it's like, damn, what you doing?
How long has Trevor Lawrence been in the league? Like, what year is it coming up on?
He came in with.
That was what 2017. He came in 2018.
Nah, not that long. I'm thinking like 2020, 2019.
20. Oh, okay. That's why I said 2018. Like I couldn't remember. I ain't gonna lie. No. It was 2019.
So 5 years.
Yeah, he came in with Zach Wilson and Mac Jones.
He came in 2020.
Yeah. 20, yeah. Oh, damn. So okay, yeah. Damn, I'm way off.
Wait, you said 2020? So it's been 4 years.
2021.
Okay.
21.
Damn.
So
I mean, he's still.
I mean, yeah, he's still young. I mean, I guess.
Burrow year. That was the Burrow
that makes sense.
Burrow Tua, Herbert. Love.
Is he over? I mean, do we overlook him because he's in Jacksonville? I mean, is that
not hell no?
Because he elevates them for sure.
Oh yeah, he was the number one pick in that draft too in 2021. Yep.
Like they're a better team with him than without him. Like that's not a question.
I think that's a class with. Where that Jamar Chase class?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Him. Let me see, Jamar. Damn, Jamar Chase, nigga. Where you at? Okay. They act like
Jamar was fourth. He was fifth or fourth in that draft.
He was fifth.
He was 2021 round 1 pick 5. So yeah, he came in with that real nice class.
Yeah, he was
yeah.
Yeah, I think
all those guys are the same one. Y'all want to add one more?
One more what?
Like one more QB?
Oh yeah, go ahead.
I know what you're gonna say, bro.
Nah, I ain't gonna put him in there. I ain't gonna put my nigga Jay Herbo like that because I already know he a game changer. So I'm playing with him. Who can I say, bro?
Woo.
I was hoping one of y'all was gonna come up with one or something like one of y'all or something. No, nobody ain't got one.
No.
Shit, who you want us to say?
Gardner Minshew. Looking at it, I'm playing. Hell nah.
Yeah, we already know.
I thought y'all were just going.
We know Burrows, CJ,
Lamar,
Kyler Murray.
Oh shit, he was a game changer, but he fell off.
He got hurt too, though.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He fell off because the injuries and shit, and then he just wasn't the same.
Hey, you know who might be spooky? Like, you know who might be spooky?
Oh,
ain't no comment.
Hell no.
Aaron Rodgers?
Nah, the other one. AR-15.
You said AR-15. They talking about Austin Reeves.
No, I was like,
nah, I'm talking about. I feel like Anthony Richardson could be the second best quarterback in our division.
Oh shit! I forgot about him. Oh
Shit,
god,
he might be it already.
damn! I forgot about him. I'm thinking
No,
of.
we know.
Yeah, I forgot all about him because he's been hurt, bro. So it's crazy because he done got bigger supposedly. Like he done put some more weight on, which is crazy. I hope he's still able to run fast. Didn't he say he was like 250 or some shit like that? 255?
He like 6'5" though, so that ain't nothing. 6.
But that's big as hell for a QB. That nigga, that's Cam. That's on some Cam Newton shit.
Yeah, it is.
But shoot, look at him.
That shit is crazy. I'll throw Justin Herbert in that hole.
Hell no. We already know Herbert a game changer. I want like.
But I just had to make sure. I just wanted to hear it from y'all boys because I already know he's a game changer. This season really gonna really determine if he is though. I was like that.
He gonna get put in his place in game manager.
Fuck no. He too talented to be a game manager, bro. I don't know.
I'm talking about in this
He
system.
makes a lot of impossible throws. No, they still gonna throw the ball.
Then the Chargers just got a new coach, huh?
Yeah,
Jim Harbaugh.
I think the Chargers will be interesting. I'll be interested to see what they put on display this season with the new coach. Because for a long time they've had a lot of talent on that roster and they just haven't been able to turn it into nothing significant. And it's
exactly.
just like
Facts.
It's just, but I mean, hopefully with the new coach. But I mean, also Mike Williams can never stay healthy. I mean, I think when he is, I think he's definitely a top 10 receiver. Mike Williams is. But,
Shit, we ain't even got him no more, bro.
He said top 10.
Mike Williams is not top 10 with healthy.
Hell no.
He's not a number one when he was with Keenan.
You said what?
He wasn't a number one when healthy when he was with Keenan.
I mean, but you gotta account for him though. I watched Mike Williams when Keenan Allen was gone towards I can't remember. I think it was the Raiders, I want to say.
I mean, hey, we can account for Tee Higgins.
We always
top 10 receiver.
Hey, talk this shit, Jones.
He gotta be in the conversation though. Because I don't think you think DK Metcalf is better than Mike Williams?
Yeah.
You said what?
Shit, I ain't gonna lie. DK's a problem. I ain't gonna lie. He's a problem.
DK top 20.
Oh yeah.
All right, see, I can give
it. He like top 20 for sure. I say Mike in the top 22.
Mike like top 15.
Yeah. And if we talking Mike Evans, that's a motherfucking that nigga's a dog. But that nigga's a dog.
Hey man, that's a wrap for episode 15, man. Check the stats. Appreciate you, Charles, Maury. Big shit for coming out, man. We got some more stuff in the chamber y'all ain't seen yet, man. A lot of new surprises coming up very, very soon. Shift, we gotta have you back on again. You're a great guest. But
yeah, most definitely, man. I'm trying to be a regular, man. You gotta hit me up so we can.
Most definitely. But without that being said, we sign it off.
Yes, sir.
Need the facts, check the stats.
Hey, we really gotta get this shit.